Hey Gary, it's Jimmy. Can you hear me? Hey, the guy from PCM was just here talking. He was saying he's doing 60 seconds at the end of the first and the third. I know we talked about 30, so I wanted to let you know. He said 60. All right, thanks. and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are, whenever you may be listening. Tonight, in its 50th year of broadcasting, WKMC TV is excited to bring you the PCN Game of the Week, with the Mount Carmel Area Red Tornadoes playing host to the defending PIAA 2A state champion Southern Columbia Tigers. I'm Jim Lesko. Alongside me is Dan Lesko. We're joining the booth tonight by our good friend and Mount Carmel icon, Jose Gonzalo. We're coming to you live from the Jazz Diminick Field at the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. And we're here looking forward to the Red Tornadoes attempting to do something they have not been able to do in the last 7 years, and that's defeat these Southern Columbia Tigers. Now, in the last 7 years, the Tigers have been busy. In addition to going 7-0 against the Red Tornadoes with an average margin of victory of 32 points, they've also gone 82-5 against everybody else. They've won 6 district championships, 2 state titles, and are currently running a 62-game regular season winning streak. On the Red Tornado side, believe it or not, they've got hope. They're excited about their chances tonight. As we see here, the Red Tornadoes are going to win the toss and elect to receive. They're going to get the ball first. And coming off a big win last week against District 4 Class AAA favorite Central Columbia, the Red Tornadoes feel good that for the first time since October of 2011, they can defeat these Tigers. So the real question is, Dan, do you think they can do it?
Yeah, Jim, I definitely think that Mount Carmel has an opportunity to upset the Tigers tonight. They're going to need a few things to happen, though, for that to be possible. The first thing they'll need to do is win the time of possession. We spoke about it earlier today. They had the ball for 31 minutes last week to Central Columbia's 17. They're going to need to do that again this week if they want to be able to pull off this upset. The other thing that they're going to have to do is control the line of scrimmage and stay on schedule offensively, not turn the ball over. It's going to be easier said than done, but if this game comes down to the wire, I got to say, I like Mount Carmel in a dogfight.
Well, and I think, again, with it being a dogfight, that's really what the Red Tornadoes found themselves in last week. And as they sit here and set themselves up to receive the kick, it's going to be Karicki and number 1 Karicki and number 28 Shane Widener back deep for the Tornadoes.
Jimmy and Danny, one of the things you didn't consider when you talked about all the pros going for Southern is Coach Jim Roth. His 478th football game. He's 413, 63-2. Coach Dara, this is his 36th game. 37th game in his history, so there's a little bit more experience on the other side, but you're right, I feel the way you guys do. I feel we got a shot.
Yeah, definitely.
So kicking off for the Tigers here, it'll be number 16 Ethan Dunkelberger. So he'll line it up here.
Dunkelberger's got a pretty good leg here. Saw some film on him. It looks like he's going to be possibly driving the ball down inside the 10-yard line here for Mount Carmel.
Absolutely. He's kicking off that left hash mark, and here we go. We are underway at the Silver Bowl. That kick ball is back deep. That's going to be Karicki at about the 12. He's coming out. He's across the 20 to 25. He's going to make a move to get upfield, and he's going to keep pushing or to call him down there. It looks like it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes at the 28-yard line.
Looked like number 8 Max Tillett on the tackle there for Southern Columbia. So let's see how Mount Carmel's offense comes out, if they want to be aggressive or if they're going to stick with their bread and butter here.
We're going to see the Red Tornadoes come out in what they refer to as a shotgun wing formation. They'll use that almost exclusively. It's going to have the quarterback, number 13, Tommy Reisinger, in the gun. He's got
spread.
They're going to prove me wrong right away. It's spread. It's going to be 1 to the right, 3 receivers to Reisinger's left. He's going to take the snap. He's going to go straight back, and he's looking down the seam. He's looking for number 10. I was looking for number 10, Jake Date. Sorry, excuse me. That's number 10, Noah Burkowski, and he overthrows him in the middle of the field there.
And it looked like Reisinger did have a little bit of time there, kind of felt the pressure. The pocket was starting to close up on him, and wasn't able to deliver an entirely accurate pass. A little overthrew him there. But I like the aggressiveness from Mount Carmel coming out, trying to hit a big play right from the start.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Dan, I think the Tigers were as surprised as we were that Mount Carmel started in the spread like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they were ready to have 8-9 guys in the box there, and then they come out with, 4 wide.
And they're going to do it again. It's going to be Burkowski, Chapman, and Widener split out wide left.
And it is spreading that defense out.
Reisinger's going to take the snap. He's going to go straight back again. He's going to hit Widener on a nice little in route. Widener makes a great move, and he's up to about the 44-yard line. It's going to be a Red Tornado first down.
Yeah, it looked like about a gain of about 13 or 14 there. And as we said, Mount Carmel's going to have to do something differently this game than they've done in the past to get this win against this tough Southern Columbia defense, and kind of breaking the mold here might be what takes it.
Well, after picking up the first down, they're going to go to that bread and butter. Again, it's Reisinger in the gun, Ayers to his left. He's got Daukus and Widener in the wing to the right. Ayers scans the defense. He takes a snap, and it's going to be Widener on the inside. He's going to try to get the corner. He makes a nice move to get upfield. He's across the 50 into Tiger territory. They're going to mark him down at the Southern Columbia 48-yard line.
And that is that play that worked continuously for Mount Carmel last week, that inside Sally play. Widener does a very good job, reads that very well. He gets inside and then outside to the sideline, and that's exactly how that play is designed. He runs it to perfection.
Gain of 7 is going to put him in a 2nd and 3, and we'll talk a lot about the Red Tornadoes trying to stay on schedule offensively. That's certainly how you get that done. So same formation for Mount Carmel. This time it's going to be Ayers up the middle, and he's going to put his head down. He makes a nice move at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be tackled a little bit short of the first down mark. Going to be down to the 40, call it the 46 for a 3rd and 1.
And that's what Ayers and Widener bring to the table here. Ayers, tough runner, runs downhill, north and south runner. Widener, more of a sideline-to-sideline guy, really good lateral quickness. That's a good 1-2 punch when they're both moving the ball.
This is a good test, guys, to see who wants it up front. It's going to be inside. The inside's going to decide where this one's going. Let's see who wants it.
Yes, sir.
Same formation for the Tornadoes. Reisinger takes a snap. It's going to be the inside handoff to Widener again, and he takes a big hit in the backfield. He keeps moving forward, but he's not going to be able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, short loss there. Had a Southern Columbia defender read that play very well and busted through the line of scrimmage there to really slow that play down in the backfield.
Red Tornadoes will put the punt formation out there as 4th and 4 from the Columbia 49. That'll be Johnny Ayers back to punt, and it's number 4, Julian Fleming, who we'll talk about a lot tonight, back to returning the punt.
Saw Fleming return a punt last week.
Yep, and it's going to bounce at the 20. Fleming's going to get out of the way. A number 32, Dylan Pupos, all the way down there, does a great job of attempting to make a play, but that punt's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, that punt took a quick bounce. You're really looking for, to get down there as Pupo did and stop that ball from getting to the end zone. Not able to do it. Tigers take over at the 20 here.
It's a nice 49-yard punt, though, considering.
Yes, very good punt.
Your net is 29, but it's still a good punt.
Absolutely, and Jose, some of you wonder if it's nice to keep the ball away from Fleming.
Yeah.
So the Tigers come out. Tigers come out in the formation we've seen from them a lot. It's their wing T. It's going to be Hollenbach under center, and he's going to turn around and he's going to hand it right to, looks like it's going to be Garcia, number 23. He's not going to have anywhere to go. Oh, take that back. That's actually going to be 32, Ty Rodermill.
And Rodermill, you're going to see him playing at that fullback spot in the backfield there. You're going to see both of the Garcias at the wing backs. You're going to see Rodermill in the backfield. All three very, very dangerous when they get the ball in their hands.
Yep. Tigers come out again, same formation, but it's Fleming on his own to the left. This time they are going to give it to Garcia around the side. He's going to make a couple of moves, but there's a big Red Tornado wash, and they're going to get him right around the original line of scrimmage. He never did get the corner.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Garcia does well. You never see him go, Gage Garcia, you never see him go down on the first contact. He's always making people miss, always does a good job of moving forward, falling forward. I don't think I've ever seen him lose yards on a play.
That's a great point, Dan. Need to make sure we're referring to the correct Garcia. That's number 23, Gage Garcia. Here comes Hollenbach. He's under center. Takes snap. He's going to go straight back, and it's a great move. That's still going to be number 14, Preston Zachman, and he's going to be tackled after a big gain out at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was number 1, Karicki out there making the tackle and in coverage. It's a tall order, a very tall order for these Mount Carmel cornerbacks. They're going to be playing against 2 very, very tough receivers with Fleming and Zachman, and it's a tough order, but Coach believes in them, and so do all of us.
Fleming's out on the sideline here, so it'll be wing T with Zachman split out to the right. Hollenbach's going to go, and he's going to hand that to the Garcia, the younger. That's going to be number 5, Gavin, and he's going to be hit hard in the backfield. Going to lose about 3 on that one.
Defensive line got an awesome push there off the right side. That's number 88, Hood, and looked like number 72, Colin Erb, both getting that pushback. Pushing that Southern offensive line back, making that stop for a short loss.
So here we are, first quarter scoreless, 7.5 remaining. The Tigers facing a 2nd and 12 from their own 38. Fleming back on the field. Hollenbach's got a receiver to both sides of him. He's going to go straight back. It's going to be a hard slant to Fleming, but a great play by number 28. That's going to be, 28, it's going to be Widener again. It was a hard slant to Fleming, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic play by Widener. It looked like he was dropping into his zone there, was able to get a hand on it and knock that ball down, because it looked like Fleming might have had some room in front of him if that pass got through.
Well, that's a change of pace for the Tigers, Dan. We talked about it a lot last season. Fleming didn't really go over the middle.
No, Fleming didn't go over the middle a whole lot. It looks like that might be something they're trying to do a little differently.
Hollenbach now, they're in almost a pistol formation. Hollenbach's got in the shotgun with Garcia right behind him. He's going to take a quick 3-step drop, and he's going to let it fly to the outside. That's going to be Zachman again. Very close to the first down. He's going to be a little short. So the Southern Columbia Tigers on their first 3rd down of the game opt to go to the air. They're to come up short. It's going to be about 4th and 4 from their own 47-yard line. They're going to come out to punt. That's going to be Fleming punting for the Tigers. And on the Red Tornado side, it's going to be Widener and Burkowski back deep. Good snap. Ooh, beautiful punt. That's going to be fielded by Widener at the 14, and he's going to try to get some room. He's going to be strung out. He's across the 15, and he's down at the 16-yard line.
That's Max Tillett. You're going to hear his name a lot defensively, down there covering punts. We talked about him earlier. Had over 100 tackles last year as a sophomore, back now as a junior. Expect to see the same thing from him and Cal Halliday at those 2 linebacker spots.
And again, part of the reason you see Mount Carmel come out and try to throw the ball, part of that probably has to be that the Red Tornadoes have access to film, and the Tigers held the Bloomsburg Panthers to negative 31 yards rushing last week.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Red Tornadoes, shotgun wing. Ayers is to the left of Reisinger. Reisinger's got Daukus and Widener in the wing to his right. Widener's in motion. He's going to get the handoff. He's got Ayers in front of him. He's going to make a couple nice moves. He's going to get across the 20. We'll see where they mark him down. It's going to be a decent gain as keep him in 2nd and manageable. They're going to call it at the 23-yard line.
And, as we talked about this play on the last drive, this is the play that kept Mount Carmel's drives moving last week against Central. It kept the drives moving. It kept them on schedule. I think Mount Carmel's looking for the same thing to happen this week with that play.
And you give credit to Widener and some of the Red Tornado backs, because the Tigers have been kind of knifing right in there and attacking that inside handoff.
Very shifty backs.
Yep, same formation. The Red Tornadoes are going to audible. They're going to shift, and Reisinger's going to call the first time out of the game for the Red Tornadoes. First time out of the game seems like a great time to ask everybody out there, if you love high school sports, PCN also provides coverage of soccer, field hockey, cross country, and girls volleyball this fall. Never miss a minute of action by streaming sports on the PCN app. Available for iOS and Android devices. PCN Pennsylvania Sports. So what do you think?
Another thing you guys talking about Widener, I'm impressed with how patient he is and how he sits back and reads his block.
Yeah,
and take full advantage of those guys out there, Danny.
He definitely does. I mean, he's got a lot of talent with the linemen and the people pulling in front of him, and he trusts them. He trusts them to lead the way for him, and they're doing a pretty good job so far.
A lot of these kids have been together for a while. We talked last week about Ayers being here the entire time. Coach Dara's been here. So there is a lot of trust. And nowhere was that more evident, I think, than in the play-action 28-yard touchdown pass late in the game last week.
Absolutely. You have to trust your players to make a call like that in Coach Dara's spot.
So Red Tornadoes out. Shotgun wing, same formation. Bryson takes the snap. He's going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to get stood up after only about a yard. Going to be driven way back. Forward progress will actually looking to cost him a yard.
You know, and you see, as I just spoke about them, you see Cal Halliday and Max Tillett in there on the tackle again. It seems like they are always in the backfield. I'm not sure what Coach Roth does with them, but I believe he gives them free reign to kind of shoot what gaps they want to shoot. He kind of just lets them ball hawk and go to where the play is going.
Red Tornadoes, a big third down for the Red Tornadoes with 5:40 left in the first half and no score here. They're on their own 22. They come out in the same formation as always. Reisinger is going to hand it to Widener, and Widener is going to try to cut back across the grain, but he had nowhere to go. There were 4 or 5 white jerseys there in front of him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a tough play for Widener. He did a good job of just getting back positive yardage there.
Yeah, he's going to pick up a couple, but it is going to be 4th and 2 from the 24, and we'll see Ayers out to punt again.
Very good job by Ayers blocking on that last play, just to get Widener to the edge to give him a chance to turn upfield there.
Fleming again back deep for the Red Tornadoes. We'll see if Ayers keeps it away. Good snap. And he's got a nice punt. That's going to hang up there. That's going to bounce at about the 40-yard line. It's going to stay in bounds all the way down. It's going to be picked up at the Southern Columbia 27-yard line. That's a great punt.
That is a fantastic punt. You know, being down in your own territory there, getting that ball out and getting it on the other side of the 50, you know, kind of preventing Southern from getting that winning that field position battle here in the first quarter.
It'll be easy to figure out his average. It's another 49-yarder.
That's perfect.
Give a lot of credit on that one, too, to number 32, Dylan Pupo. He's down there. With the way that ball hung up, Fleming had to get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and he did a good job of getting down there and down in the ball, letting it roll a little bit, get an extra yard or two on that one.
Hollenbach brings the Tigers to the line. Fleming split out by himself to the left. Otherwise, it's the wing T. Gavin Garcia's in motion. He's going to get a little bit deep. He makes a nice move to get the edge, and he's across the 20 before he's run out of bounds.
And I'll tell you what, that is Gavin Garcia. He's a little bit more of the shiftier back. He's a little bit smaller than his brother Gage. He's a little bit more of the speedster, and he made 2 Red Tornado defenders miss in the backfield and turned that into a plus yardage play. That was a fantastic run.
Yeah, he didn't quite get to the 30, so it'll be 2nd and 8 on the 29. But again, it could have very easily been a 4 or 5 yard loss. So we'll see again. Same formation. We're going to get an official's timeout on the field, it looks like. Steve potentially just getting folks out of the end zone. They'll signal the play again. And Hollenbach, it's going to be a quick screen to number 4, Fleming. He's on the corner. He makes one easy move. It's going to be a good job there by number 14, Avery Demko, to run him out of bounds before he could pick up too much. It'll be 2nd and 3rd and short for the Tigers at their own 36-yard line.
And you will see Southern do this often. They want to get their athletes the ball and get it to them in space. If you see Fleming singled up somewhere, I believe that they actually have a check for Hollenbach that he can just throw him a quick screen out there and give him the ball in space.
3rd and 1, big play on both sides here. Hollenbach's going to turn. He's going to hand it right to Gage Garcia, and he's going to fight through some tackles. He's going to pick up the first down. He was hit prior to the line to gain, but he powered through and picks up the first down out at the 40-yard line.
As I said earlier, he is a tough running back. He never goes down on the initial hit. And as I said, I've watched some film on this guy. Never seen him have a negative run, a negative yardage run.
No, I think it's impressive when you have the ability to talk about potentially being your school's all-time leading rusher. It's doubly impressive when the current all-time leading rusher is a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, definitely.
Hollenbach's going to turn. He's going to hand it to, that's going to be number 32, Rhode Armo again, and he's not going to go anywhere.
And that's a great tackle there in the middle of the line. Very, very, well, even for a loss, actually. It looked like a minimal gain, but a loss. That was Hood coming off of the right end there, breaking down the line, staying parallel to the line of scrimmage, doing exactly as I said last week, Jim. As a former defensive end, I appreciate seeing those DNs do their job out there.
2nd and 11 for the Tigers, 3:45 left. They're on their own 39-yard line. No score here at the Silver Bowl. Hollenbach's going to go straight back, and it's just going to throw a fly to Fleming, and there's some miscommunication there. Fleming went up the seam towards the post. Hollenbach threw it to the corner. That's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a miscommunication there. I believe that they give Fleming, as we talked about, such a great athlete. They kind of give him the option to make a read when he's got a defender playing on him. If he's got him playing on his outside, he's going to go inside and vice versa. Looked like him and Hollenbach may not have been on the same page.
It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Tigers. They're going to see number 14, Preston Zachman, come in. We'll be interested to see if they have the 2 wide outs here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see, and we are, see them spread it out and maybe try and get this first down here on one play.
It's the pistol formation. Again, it's going to be Fleming to the right, Zachman to the left. Hollenbach's going to take the snap, and he's going to go straight back. He's going to set, and he throws a rocket to Fleming. Fleming makes a great catch, but he's going to be a little short of the first down, I believe. Yep, they're going to call him. I'm going to say he caught that at the 48-yard line, so it's going to be 4th and 2.
So I'm interested to see what Coach Ross is going to do here on this 4th and short, right in the the midfield range. See if he goes aggressive and tries to pick up the first down, or if they decide to punt.
Hollenbach's still out there, so it looks like we're going to
watch a hard count.
Coach Roth is going to make a move here. Again, when you have a guy like Garcia who rushed for 2,200, almost 2,300 yards last year, you probably always feel comfortable in short situations. Hard count. He's going to throw it. That's going to be a quick out. It was a quick out to Garcia, and it's incomplete. The Red Tornadoes take over on downs at the Southern Columbia 48-yard line.
And that's Noah Burkowski, number 10 there, making that a fantastic play. That's a very, very difficult route to cover coming from that spot. A quick out, and Gage Garcia was also a big threat in the pass game last year. He had 6 touchdowns receiving last year, so they went to him a lot. That was a perfectly thrown ball. Burkowski did an awesome job of knocking that ball loose, making that play.
Red Tornadoes stay in the formation they're comfortable in. Shotgun wing. Ayers to Reisinger's left. We've got Daukus and Widener in the right. And it's going to be a play action this time. Reisinger's got time. He's rolling out, and he's going to heave it. He's got his man down there. Ooh, he's going to throw it down.
Pull it out.
That's incomplete. He was looking for number 28. Shane Widener around the 15-yard line.
Widener came out of the backfield from that wing spot, ran a little wheel route. He had a step. It looked like Reisinger put all he had into that throw. I believe that was Zachman actually, or no, I'm sorry. That was number 11, Shane Miller on the coverage.
Good call.
Yeah, it was a great decision by Coach Dare to
Run
try
offense, 10 guys in the box. Got to spread it and make them think a little bit more.
Yeah, especially after the big play on 4th down there, getting the turnover. That's a good time to take a shot downfield.
So the Red Tornadoes come out right after that play. They're going to go with three split out wide to Reisinger's right, 1 to his left. Going to take the shotgun and go straight back. It's a big blitz. He steps up in the pocket. He gets rid of the ball. It's going to bounce in front of Widener, but it's a great job by Reisinger to get rid of that.
Yeah, that was a great job just to get rid of the ball. He had number 73, Cole Shankweiler, bearing down on him, along with, I think that was number 67 in there as well, Lear Quinton. They were both kind of bearing down on him. He made one guy miss, couldn't make the other guy miss it. Good job of just getting the ball out.
Yeah, Lear's a big, strong kid to have on both sides. He plays defense, he plays offense. He gets a lot done for those Tigers. One of the many heavies up front that handles a lot of business.
And one of the few two-way players as well.
Reisinger's out. Now the Red Tornadoes have 2 to his right, 1 to his left. And again, he's going to go straight back. There's 2 rush, and he's going to look for Widener again, and it's incomplete. He's going to overthrow Widener. It was a nice pattern. Nice play drawn up, but the throw was just a little bit out of Widener's reach.
Yeah, and it looked like Widener did have a step on Miller there, but Reisinger feeling the pressure there from behind, wasn't able to deliver a completely accurate pass. Looks like we're going to have a 4th down.
Notice a theme here, guys. Picking on Miller if we could, and staying away from Fleming on this side.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
It's probably not rocket science, all right, huh?
Right.
The Tigers, hoping to get something out of this punt return, are going to put number 23, Gage Garcia, back along with Fleming to see if they can get somebody to field one of these punts and get some plus yardage out of it.
Let's see what Mount Carmel does.
It'll be a good snap to Ayers. Nice punt. Great end-over-end kick. That's going to be, oh my goodness, that's going to bounce out of bounds right at the 10-yard line. That is a great punt by Ayers.
That is a great punt. And as we said, last week, Fleming took a punt return to the house against Bloomsburg. You don't want to really kick the ball to him, so kicking that ball out of bounds, and that was a great directional punt there by Ayers, getting that ball out of the 10-yard line.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 here for the Tigers. Again, they'll be at their own 10-yard line. 3:01 remaining in the first quarter. Nothing. We are scoreless here at the Silver Bowl. Hollenbach brings the Tigers in the line. He's going to have Fleming split out wide to his left. Otherwise, in the wing T formation with Rhode Armel right behind him. The Garcia's in the wing. It's going to be a hand to Rhode Armel, and he's going to take up the middle. He's going to carry a red tornado defender. He's going to get out to the 15-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and 5.
Looked like Ayers on the initial contact there, and then Chapman and Karicki coming in to clean that one up. All three of these running backs for Southern Columbia are tough runners. They have the ability to make people miss and to run through tacklers. We're going to see that a lot tonight.
Rhode Armel had 375 yards rushing last season and 4 touchdowns. So you get lost in the wash with Garcia and Fleming, but they have a lot of talented kids in that backfield.
Yes, they do.
And Hollenbach's going to turn. He's going to give it to Garcia, and that's going to be a great play by the Red Tornadoes. Garcia's not going to get anywhere. He's going to pick up 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 17.
And that looked like Hood and Billy Anderson there. Billy Anderson, as we talked about him last week, another 4-year starter, just as Ayers was. Really the anchor on that defensive line. And Hood, another senior there, trying to put his stamp on this game. One of the bigger games that they're going to have this year.
So 3rd and 3 for the Tigers at the 17. Fleming split out left. Again, Zachman split out right. They both have a little bit of help over the top for the Red Tornado defenders. Hollenbach, it's a quick rocket screen to Fleming, and he makes a couple great moves, but there's too many red jerseys over there. He's going to be very close. Oh, that forward progress is going to have him very close to that first down. We'll have to see where they mark it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's.
They're going to call that a first down.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like the ball did possibly get to the line to gain. Looks like they are going to be moving the chains. And that's a good job by Fleming, making that first guy miss and able just to even get the ball across that line to gain. Mount Carmel faithful not very happy about the spot there, but it is going to be a first down Southern.
1st and 10 from the 20, wing T. Fleming out to the right. It's going to be Garcia in motion. He's going to try to cut up the middle, and he's not. Ooh, he breaks a couple tackles. He's going to get almost out to the 30. They're going to mark him down at the 28. It'll be 2nd and 2.
As I said, Garcia very, very tough to bring down. He's not a very tall running back. He's got that low center of gravity. He's a well-built kid, strong kid, able to fight through a couple tackles there. Looked like stop for a short gain, ends up picking up 8.
It's interesting to talk about the kind of team that the Tigers have when I believe the man under center, who we rarely talk about, is 32-1 in 2 years as a starter.
Yeah, and also committed to University of Alabama.
That's 15 Stone Hollenbach, and he's back to pass again. It's going to be a draw. He put his foot in the ground. He's going to cut up field. He's going to pick up the first down, but not before taking a few shots there from the Red Tornadoes. He'll be at the 36-yard line where the Tigers will set up shop again, 1st and 10.
And as you just kind of brought him into the game here, he puts his mark on that one, picks up a quick little first down there for Southern. It looked like it was originally going to be a pass play, but he didn't see anything there. Made a good read, saw a hole, got the first down.
He'll bring him to the line. He'll bring the Tigers to the line again as the clock ticks under 22 seconds left in this first quarter, where we have no score at the Silver Bowl. Hard count. We're going to get a flag there. It looked like there was a little bit of movement on the Tiger offense. Going to be a motion against the Tigers.
Yep. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty against Southern Columbia here. And looks like Hollenbach going back over to the sideline, see if they'll might switch the play up here with a few.
We'll see if they try to get one off here. The clock running now. It's under 10 seconds. We'll see if the Tigers are content. And it looks like they're in no hurry to get to the line. So at the end of the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes find themselves in a 0-0 struggle against the defending PIAA 2A state champion Southern Tigers here at the Silver Bowl. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
PCN brings you all the football action this season. A live game of the week each Friday this fall. Go to PCNTV.com for more information. And if you can't get enough Pennsylvania football, tune in to PCN Game of the Week live on cable Friday this fall or stream on the PCN app. Follow PCN on Facebook and Twitter. Attention to both Mount Carmel area and Southern Columbia fans tonight. At this time, Mount Carmel area Think Big's student leaders will be coming up and down both sets of bleachers to collect donations for the Think Big Pediatric Cancer Fund. Think Big is a nonprofit organization that provides financial support to children.
Guys, coming back into the quarter, Southern with 10 rushes for 31 yards, 5 of 8 passing for 43, 74 yards in the first quarter. Mount Carmel 6 rushes for 14 yards, 1 of 5 passing for 16, 30 yards in the first quarter. So it's been much more of a defensive struggle than we had anticipated.
Yes, it is.
The important thing here, again, the score as we start the second quarter, nothing here at the Silver Bowl. The Tigers with the ball, first and 15. They're going to try to hand it to Gavin Garcia. He makes a couple really nice moves to get to the corner, but there's too many red jerseys. He's going to lose some additional yards there. They're going to mark him down all the way back at the Southern Columbia 26-yard line.
And that is great pursuit by Mount Carmel's defense there. You know, they did a little double reverse there, Garcia to Garcia. And it looked like he may have had some room once he made that last move, but he was able to, like I said, the pursuit from Mount Carmel was able to stop that play for a big loss.
Be second and 18 now from the 28. Tigers come out, Fleming to the right, Zachman to the left, and it's going to be Hollenbach straight back, and he's going to plant, and he's going to throw it as far as he can. He's going to have, that's going to be Zachman with a big catch at the 35-yard line. He's going to be dragged down by Karicki, but not before he crosses the 30, gets all the way down to the 27-yard line.
That's a very well executed play. Hollenbach had just enough time to put his arm into that ball. It looked like Zachman and Fleming both running, it looked like post routes there towards the middle of the field, kind of threw it up, hoping one of them came down with it, and Zachman came out of nowhere, made that catch, and kind of changed the field position here, changed the momentum too.
Tigers back out. Fleming split out to the right. It's going to be a handoff this time to Gage Garcia. He's going to do what he can to get up the line, but he doesn't really have anywhere to go. He crossed the 25. They'll mark him down at the 24. It'll be a 2nd and 7.
Looked like Erb, Troutman, and Ayers, and also Karicki in on that tackle there. Good job. Mount Carmel's been doing a good job since last week as well with Central. Gang tackling as a team.
Same formation for the Tigers. We have 2 in the backfield this time. And at this time, they're going to hand it to Gavin Garcia, and he's going to make a couple guys miss. He's going to get the corner. He gets a great block from Fleming. He's across, and he's going to be into the end zone. That's going to be a Tiger touchdown. A 23-yard scamper by number 5, Gavin Garcia.
And wow, that was a very impressive run. As we talked about, Gavin Garcia being the more shifty of the 2 backs. He doesn't, not as really much of a bruiser as his brother Gage, but very, very, very good run. Made a lot of Mount Carmel defenders miss on his way to getting in the end zone.
Will be 16. Ethan Dunkelberger back here for the kick. It's a good snap, good hold, and it's up, and it's going to be straight down the middle, and it'll be 7-0 Tigers here with 10:22 left in the second quarter.
And just looking at the replay here on our screen that we have up here, got to give credit to Julian Fleming. Once Garcia broke out towards the corner and got the edge, the reason he got the edge was Fleming was blocking downfield and created space for Garcia to get down to the end zone.
It says a lot about the cut of the kids and the program over there at Southern Columbia, where you have the #1 ranked junior receiver in the country, the reigning 2A player of the year, out there laying blocks for the freshman scat back on a touchdown run.
Yeah, definitely a test to Southern Columbia's grit.
9 plays, 90 yards for the score. The big play, of course, I think was Zekman's 46-yard reception over the middle.
Yep.
The Red Tornadoes ready themselves to receive the kick. It'll be Cricky and Wyden back for the Tornadoes. It'll be Dunkelberger again kicking. We're going to have Dunkelberger. He's going to set himself up on this short, to give him a short side of the field. He's on the hash closest to the Red Tornado sideline, closest to us. Looks like they're going to do a little bit of directional kicking here. It's a nice kick. It's going to get all the way down. It's going to be Cricky at the 10. He's going to try to make some moves. He's going to get across the field, but he's going to be hit hard and dropped at the 18-yard line.
And that looked like Shane Miller along with Cal Halliday down there on that tackle there. Now, I'm interested to see what Mount Carmel's going to do, how they're going to answer. You knew you weren't going to keep this very potent Southern offense out of the end zone all game. I'm interested to see how they answer.
Well, we talked about it last time, Dan, and you have to score a point to win. So giving up a touchdown is not the end of the world. The Red Tornadoes had to figure that a field goal or a safety wasn't going to get them a victory tonight. So they know what they need to do when they come out. They're going to come out in a shotgun. Ayers is in motion. Reisinger's going to pitch it to him, and Ayers trying to get. He's got some blockers in front of him. He makes a nice move. He's out across the 25, close to a first down. It'll be. They're going to call it the 28 where they stop him. We'll see if they move the chains.
Yeah, looks like they are going to move the chains.
It's going to be. Little confusion there on the sideline. They are moving the chains.
Now we're
first and 10 for the Red Tornadoes in the 28-yard line. 10 minutes remaining in the second quarter. They find themselves trailing the Southern Columbia Tigers 7-0. It's going to be the inside handoff to Widener. Widener's trying to make something out of nothing, and he's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, nowhere to go there for Widener. Again, you see Tillett coming off the bottom of that pile, along with it looked like Zachman and those big defensive linemen down there. It looked like all three of them were in on that one there.
Chapman's going to go in. You see him running in. He's going to spell number 26, Nick Troutman.
Chapman plays a tight end. Sometimes they split him out as a receiver. Look to see if Mount Carmel may take a chance here, try and go downfield on 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11, as Dan said. Red Tornadoes at the 27-yard line. Ayers is in motion. Reisinger rolling out. He puts his foot in the ground, and he throws back across the field. He's got number 24, Chapman. Chapman makes a great catch. He's going to hit the ground. He trips. He's a little upset with himself, but it's a great catch. They're going to call him down at the 42-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. And
that's a very well-designed play. Get all the momentum, whole defense moving with Reisinger as he's rolling out to his right. Chapman coming back across the middle to his left, and he throws back. Chapman was wide open there. Unfortunately lost his footing, but good enough for a first down.
Yep, Chapman and Troutman to switch positions again. Red Tornadoes in their shotgun wing. Reisinger under center, Ayers to the right, Widener and Daukus in the wing. It'll be a pitch to Ayers, and he's going to go down quickly.
And that's number 28, Cal Halliday. We keep talking about these Southern Columbia linebackers. Cal Halliday as well last year had 109 tackles, along with Tillett, who had 106, as we said earlier. You're going to see those guys all over the field today.
It looks like they'll give Ayers about the length of the football that he picked up, so it'll be 2nd and all but 10 from the 43-yard line. Come out again, same formation. Ayers had come to the sideline. Karicki's in there now to Reisinger's left. Reisinger's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it to Karicki on the swing, and it's a great play again by number 28.
Cal Halliday.
And
he lost his helmet on that play, so they're going to have to sub him out here. But again, as we said, those linebackers, they have a nose for the ball. These guys, look, he comes through the line of scrimmage there, fights off of the block, and gets the shoestring tackle for minimal gain there.
Yeah, and it looks like he'll get the Karicki will have picked up about the length of the football again. So between the two carries, Red Tornadoes will pick up a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9 from the 43-yard line.
Big play here for Mount Carmel. If they can get a first down, get some momentum.
Reisinger in the gun. He's got 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. He's going to take the snap. He's going to go straight back. He's under pressure already. He's going to swing it. He's got number 4, Logan Wills, in the middle of the field. Wills makes a great effort, and he's going to pick up that first down. He's across the 50. They're going to call it the 47-yard line. Great effort.
That's great composure by Reisinger just to get that ball out. Felt the pressure. Looked like Tillett came through the line of scrimmage there, almost untouched. Reisinger able to get rid of the ball, and Wills with the grit, able to fight through that tackle, reach out, and get enough yardage for the first down.
Red Tornadoes now 2 receivers split out. So you got twins to the right, Wills is the lone receiver to the left. Widener comes in motion across the formation, and Reisinger's going to fake it to him and cut up the middle. And he's going to put his head down, and he's going to get across the 45. We'll call him down at the 44-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that's what I like about Tommy Reisinger there. Putting his head down, a lot of quarterbacks, they see that that tackle, that contact coming. They're going to kind of slow down, maybe slide, maybe just kind of fall over. Reisinger, not afraid to deliver a blow, finishing his runs.
Well, it's a nice change of pace when you see the Tigers washing with the motion. So Red Tornado shotgun wing. It's a tight formation. They're going to hand it to Kricky off the left side. He's going to put his foot in the ground and try to get upfield. He fights, but he's going to be back to the original line to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. It's going to be 3rd and 7 from the 45.
Yeah, this is a new wrinkle that we're seeing from Mount Carmel. You see them doing it looks like coming out in one set, shifting to another, trying to confuse Southern's defense because they are such a good defense, that's such a tough team to score on. Try and get them a little confused, have them moving around, maybe be able to break one here.
3rd and 7 for the Tornadoes. Desperately want to keep this drive moving from the shotgun wing. Reisinger, he's going to fake it to Kricky. He's going to drop straight back. He's under a lot of pressure. He's going to turn and swing, and that's a dangerous pass. It's going to be intercepted. That's going to be number 10.
Jake Davis,
and he's going to be tackled out at the 45-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a really tough play there for Reisinger. Only his 2nd season as a starting quarterback. Under all that pressure, you really don't want to throw the ball too far downfield. You have to get it back to the line of scrimmage to keep out of intentional grounding. But maybe it's a tough play. It's hard to make that decision in the heat of the moment there. Very, very nice play by Jake Davis with the interception.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers on their own 45 with 5:52 remaining. They have a 7-0 lead over the Red Tornadoes here at the Silver Bowl. Hollenbach brings him under center and he stops. He surveys the landscape. He goes back under center. It's going to be Garcia in motion. He's going to get a handoff. He's going to try to get to the outside, and he's got nowhere to go. There are 3 Red Tornadoes there. They're going to drop him all the way back at the 41. That started by number 26, Nick Troutman.
Yeah, look, great pursuit there by Nick Troutman coming through the line, making Garcia kind of widen his route to the sideline out, and then Wills there coming off the defensive end, and Ayers there to clean that tackle up and finish him off.
It'll be a 2nd and 13 for the Tigers. Coming off the big play there. Fleming back in. Fleming's going to be split out to the left. Otherwise, Tigers in their wing. Hollenbach under center. It's Garcia in motion again. This time it's going to be Hollenbach on a keeper. He's going to try to get around the end, and he doesn't. The Red Tornadoes are ready for that. He'll pick up a few. They're going to mark him down at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Hood was out there, number 88, turning that play back in, getting upfield, making Hollenbach turn that upfield into the teeth of the defense, and it looked like Chapman along with a couple of his buddies in there on the tackle.
For the Red Tornadoes, number 4, Logan Wills coming off. Number 29, Damon Daukus going on. This time the Tigers have 2 split out. Fleming to our side. The opposite side is Zachman again. Hollenbach's going to go straight back. The Red Tornadoes bring a big blitz, and he's going to be hit in the back by number 88, Mike Hood. It's going to be an incomplete pass, and it'll be 4th down.
And the Red Tornadoes brought a ton of pressure there. Up the middle, off the edge. They didn't have, it looked like Rhode Armel actually did a very nice job of picking up the blitz up the middle, but because Rhode Armel had to step up and pick up that blitz in the middle, it allowed the defensive end to come off the edge and get pressure on Hollenbach and alter his throw.
Fleming back to punt for the Tigers. Burkowski and Widener back deep for the Red Tornadoes. Tigers trying to get all their personnel together here.
Tigers don't normally have to run this punt formation, so.
Big booming punt out of Fleming. That's going to be Widener's retreating. He's going to watch and make sure that gets into the end zone, and it just does barely. It'll be a touchback for the Red Tornadoes. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Yeah, that was almost a tough one there for Widener. You know, normally that ball gets over the 10-yard line. You're taught not to try and catch it, but took a slow bounce there. Almost turned into a big change of field position for Southern Columbia there, but Mount Carmel, as you said, taking over at the 20 after the touchback.
One thing that's jumping out at me on the other side of the ball, at least in the Southern Columbia offensive side of the ball, is how willing the Red Tornadoes are to blitz and leave their corners on an island against Fleming and Zachman. It says a lot about the confidence they have in those kids.
Yeah, Coach Dara definitely has a lot of confidence in his defensive backfield.
Red Tornadoes come out. It's Daukus and Widener to the right, Ayers to the left. It's going to be a handoff to Widener. He's trying to get deep, and it's going to be number 28, Cal Halliday, again with a big loss on the play.
You know, I got to tell you what, I like this Cal Halliday. He plays with a very high motor. He is blitzing. He's finding holes. He's almost like a running back on the defensive side of the ball. You know, he's finding the open hole. He's shooting a gap, and he's making plays like that for a 5-yard loss.
It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Red Tornadoes at their own 15-yard line. 3:52 and counting left here in the opening half. Cal Halliday, again, one of the pair of Tiger linebackers with 100-plus tackles last season. It was he and his counterpart, number 8, Max Tillett. The Red Tornadoes come out now. Trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Ayers is going in motion across the formation. It's a screen pass set up, but that doesn't have a chance either. Big play there by number 4, Julian Fleming.
And I'll tell you what, that play is designed for the receiver there. A quick jab step, get the defender off of you, and then kind of come back behind the line of scrimmage. It's a little screen play to give your blocker some time to get out there. Fleming was not fooled, made that play before the blocker even got there.
Yeah, that's going to cost them another yard. It's going to be 3rd and 16, and if you're taking a look at personnel, you saw number 4, Wills, and number 14, Avery Demko, come off the field. And be spelled by at least number 29, Daukus. So that seems to look like a little more that the plan was to run the ball. But it's the second time out of the half for the Red Tornadoes. So, guys, remember, this winter and spring, PCN is your place to watch PIAA championships. Tune in to catch championship matchups in football, basketball, volleyball, track and field, and many more on PCN. Go to PCNTV.com for the complete programming schedule. And speaking of complete, Dan, with the exception of the big play to Zachman, the Red Tornadoes have played a pretty complete half this far.
I would say so. I mean, that big play to Zachman kind of opened up Mount Carmel's defense a little bit, made them worry about the pass, and that allowed for Gavin Garcia to have that touchdown run. But otherwise, Mount Carmel defensively has been playing a tremendous half.
I think the Red Tornadoes need to be careful here in this situation. Don't want to give up any more yardage on this already 3rd and long. Looks like they're going to come out with Wills is going to be split out to the left, so he went back in. We've got Chapman and Widener split out to the right. Reisinger in the gun with Ayers to his left. Reisinger takes a snap and he goes straight back. He's looking. He's going to roll to his right. He's under a lot of pressure, and he's just going to throw it to nobody in particular. He's going to throw that onto the track.
And I don't know if you noticed on the sideline there, the quarterback's coach for Mount Carmel.
And there's going to be the flag. Sorry to cut you off, Dan, but it looks like the official in the back judge is going to throw a flag on the field. They're going to get Reisinger with intentional grounding.
I guess Reisinger may not have been out of the pocket when he threw that ball away. That is a loss of down play. But as we talked about last drive, you know, in that situation where Reisinger threw the interception last drive, what a better option would have possibly been to throw the ball away. Looks like this is going to back.
They were, my goodness, that's going to be a big penalty. That's going to take them all the way back to the 2-yard line. Ayers is going to be punting here with short field. The Tigers are up.
Yeah.
Look like they're going to go after it. They have Garcia and Fleming back deep. So Ayers is going to need to ensure that he gets this one out as fast as he can.
Yeah, let's see if Ayers can just get even just a one-step pooch punt, get the ball out of there, even kick it out of bounds. Don't give Fleming or Garcia a chance to return here.
Ayers calls for a snap. It's a good snap. He gets it out quick. Great job by everybody involved. It's going to be fielded by Fleming at the 35. And he's got some room to work now. He's into the 20. He's going to stop, and he's going to cut back across. He's going to fight, and he's going to fight all the way down inside the 10. It looks like they're going to mark him at about the 8-yard line, but there is a flag on the field.
Yes, there is a flag down on the field.
We'll see how this impacts that return. Officials are going to converse. It's in an area that's a little bit interesting given the play and where all the action was. They're going to call a block in the back against the Tigers.
Well, that is definitely going to help Mount Carmel out. Instead of a 1st and goal to start the drive for Southern Columbia, it looks like it's going to back them up a few yards here. And this close to halftime, got about 2:38 left in the half. Really, it would be huge for Mount Carmel to keep Southern out of the end zone here and keep them from scoring, keep this game at 7-0, or even get the ball back with an opportunity to score again.
See, when they finally put this ball down, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers, about the 22-yard line. And
Tigers still in very good field position here, still in plus territory, but a little bit better off for Mount Carmel that they're, at the 22 instead of at the 8-yard line.
The Tigers come out. We see both Fleming and Zachman coming into the huddle. Hollenbach is going to be under center. Rhode Armel's behind him. The Garcia's on the wings. He's going to take a quick drop, and it's going to be Gage Garcia that time. He makes a couple nice moves after the catch. He's going to get down to about the 16-yard line.
As we said, they do like to go to Garcia there. He's playing at that wing spot, comes out, quick out. It's always a tough run to cover, or a tough pass route to cover for the defense. Easy, quick reception, and that's, again, getting your playmakers the ball in space.
Same formation of the Tigers, the wing tee with the 2 wide receivers. Hollenbach's going to take a 3-step drop, and he's going to let this fly at Fleming on an out route, and he's got Fleming, and that's a tough cover out there. He makes a couple moves, and he's going to be into the end zone for another Southern Columbia touchdown. With 1:55 left, the Tigers are going to go up 13-0 on a 16-yard pass and catch from Hollenbach to Fleming.
Yeah, that's a very good job by Fleming there. As we said, the #1 receiver in the country for the 2020 graduating class, able to get out there in space, make not one, but 2 Mount Carmel defenders miss, and walk into the end zone.
He's such a tough cover out there. The kick is up, and the kick is from Dunkelberger is going to be good. It's going to be right through. So with 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining in the second quarter, the Red Tornadoes find themselves trailing the Southern Columbia Tigers 14-0.
And that was a very, very tough drive. Southern Columbia starting almost in the red zone of Mount Carmel area. That's tough to keep points off the board, to keep them out of the end zone there. Southern taking advantage of the good field position and punching another score in.
A big part of the Southern drive there actually winds up being the Mount Carmel intentional grounding at the end of their previous drive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Tommy gets a sack back to the spot, plus another 5 yards lost, plus a loss of down. It just really hurt.
Dunkelberger off the kick. Once again, the Red Tornadoes, Widener and Cricky back deep. Dunkelberger continues the kick from the left hash. And if you notice, the Tigers, their kick return is all within the half as well. They're trying to keep it away, and they're going to drill it down to Widener. He's going to take it at the 9. It's going to be across the 20, across the 25, and he's going to be tackled by a few different Tigers there. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. They're on their own 26-yard line, down 14-0 with 1:50 left in the first half.
Yeah, it looked like Rhode Armel and Miller in there on the tackle there for the kickoff for Southern. So we're going to see how Mount Carmel answers. Another quick Southern score there on that short field. See if Mount Carmel can get some momentum going, do a little 2-minute drill here, and put one in before the half.
Yeah,
we have to be careful as we don't get them the ball. Again, it can't be any more than 14.
Right.
Absolutely, Jose. I completely agree. So the Red Tornadoes will come out in their bread and butter. Shotgun wing. Reisinger's got Ayers to his right. Daukus and Widener to the left. It's going to be Reisinger. He's going to hand it to Widener coming across the middle. He doesn't have a whole lot of room there. He's going to work hard for the yards that he can get, but he's only going to pick up 2 or 3.
And again, 2 of the 3 guys in there on the tackle, Cal Halliday and Max Tillett, along with Jake Davis. And looks like Halliday must be having some helmet issues going on there. It comes off again. Has to be spelled by number 46. It looks like Wade Kerstetter coming out to give him a a breather here.
See Halliday kind of pushing on his helmet there on the sideline, begging it to stay together. He's having himself a heck of a half.
Yes, he is, and that's why he does not want to be off the field.
Same formation for the Tornadoes, just Widener in motion. This time they're going to hand it to Ayers up the middle, and he's going to be pumping his legs. He's going to get across the 30, but just barely. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 30-yard line. The Tigers are going to use their first timeout as they're starting to perhaps smell a little bit of blood in the water here and think they can punch another one in before the half.
Yeah, as you see Mount Carmel kind of looking like maybe they want to take this into halftime, maybe get out of here only down 14, take it into halftime and regroup in the locker room. Southern Columbia and Coach Jim Roth over there, they say, no, we want more.
And why wouldn't you at this point? Especially the first quarter was what it was. We were a little surprised that it was scoreless, but the Tigers have kind of started to make some adjustments, starting to see what's working and are attacking those. Really, it's those quick outs.
Well, what really is impressive are the number of weapons that they have. You think about Fleming all night, you think about Gage Garcia, but there's also Rode Armel, there's also Gavin Garcia, and Zekman, I think, has been a key to the first half with his catches. Yeah,
Zekman with a few big catches, setting up, the Southern Columbia scoring drives.
So we break out of the timeout. The Red Tornadoes come out. Reisinger's in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap, and it's going to be a handoff around the end to Widener, and Widener's got nowhere to go. He's only going to get to about the 33-yard line. The Tigers are going to use another timeout here. Stop the clock. So if you're enjoying this game, be sure to tune in next week for PCN's Game of the Week to see Warwick take on Manheim Central. That's going to be live Friday, September 7th at 7 p.m. on cable or stream it on the PCN app. And for live updates on all the action under the Friday Night Lights, make sure to follow PCN on Twitter at PCNTV. And speaking of Twitter, also make sure to follow WKMC TV on Twitter. You can tweet at us here at WKMC TV.
And I'm interested to see here, Jim, what Coach Dara kind of has Ayers, the punter, do on this 4th and 4 here. I'm assuming that they are going to come out in the punt formation. It would be nice to keep the ball inbounds, maybe get a rolling punt, something that we can let a couple extra seconds tick off. But you also, after the big return that Fleming just had on the last punt, you don't really want to kick the ball to him. So it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do here.
What it looks like from the Tigers side, it's just Fleming back deep
again. Coverage again.
So I wonder if the plan will be to go after this punt. It's just the Red Tornadoes are not going to punt.
There we go.
Reisinger's in the gun. So Coach Dara opted to try to make a move, and they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a good decision there by Coach Dara. Almost caught Southern defense sleeping a little bit there. Almost had him out of position, but taking advantage of having that last timeout in the half to say, okay, let's go out there, see if we can catch him off guard. If not, call the timeout. Now we're going to punt.
When you wonder with Reisinger getting more and more comfortable, and certainly Coach Dara trusting him more and more, if there's a conversation that, hey, go out to the line. If you see this, let's run the play. If it's anything else, call a timeout, we'll punt it. Curious if he gives him that kind of option.
Well, Tommy is getting a lot more freedom with Coach. He's giving him a lot more checkouts. So this is a tough game to do it.
Yeah, it definitely is a tough game to do it with how tough Southern's defense is. But
he's been doing a good job so far. Double coverage again.
Yep.
Double punt.
Yep, Tigers back to having Garcia and Fleming back. Ayers awaits the snap. It's good. He's got to move out. He fumbles the snap. He's going to try to make something happen, and he does a great job of trying to get some sort of a punt out there. It's going to be out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Wow, that's tough. Tough snap for Ayers to handle there. Does a good job of making one guy miss. But this is exactly what Southern does. They didn't give up on that play after Ayers made the first guy miss. They kept coming. He wasn't able to get a whole lot off. Took a big hit, Ayers did. Great job of just getting the ball out of there. But now Southern, again, in plus territory.
brings him to the line. It's the wing. Fleming's by himself on the right-hand side. They're going to Fake it. And Hollenbach's going to break a nice tackle. He's going to break contain. He's down the left side. He's across this one. He's almost to the 16-yard line. That's where they'll mark him at. That was a great move by Hollenbach. I don't know how he felt Troutman.
Yeah, that was it was actually Hood coming off the end there. I have no idea. That's just that's Hollenbach having that internal clock. That's what the great quarterbacks have. Here in high school, they have the internal clock. They realize, okay, I feel some pressure coming and creeping up on him, able to make him miss and turn it into a
Well, that's
first down.
what we were talking about earlier in the week, Dan. This is a kid that threw for 2,500 yards and 30 touchdowns last year, but because he's on a team with Garcia and Fleming, speaking of, Fleming's going to take that catch. He's going to try to get to the outside on like a quick rocket screen. It'll be very close to the first down, but Hollenbach being on a team with Garcia and Fleming, a kid like that somehow becomes almost the third option, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, this offense has, as the Mount Carmel team would probably say, too many weapons.
Right.
It's almost unfair at times how potent their offense is and how many different guys that they can go to in key situations and they can all deliver.
With 45.8 seconds left on the clock here, it's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Tigers from the 8.
Just slant to Zekman.
He's going to drop back. It's another quick out. Hollenbach hits Garcia, Gavin, this time on a quick out. He's going to pick up the first down. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds at. Going to be the 4-yard line, so 40.8 seconds left. The Tigers threatening once again.
And that's very well covered by Troutman there. Again, that play is so hard to cover. It's that quick out from that wing spot. You can't play press to kind of jack them off the line because they're off the line of scrimmage. They're in the wing. It's so hard to cover.
Now here they come. The Tigers are tight this time. The tight wing T. Hollenbach's going to hand it to Gage Garcia this time, and he's not going to go anywhere. The Red Tornadoes do a great job of stopping him for no gain. And the Tigers are going to use their third and final timeout with just under 35 seconds left in the first half.
And that is the wing tee that I am used to seeing, from playing, years ago. It seems like as Southern Columbia has gotten passing threats, receiving threats, quarterbacks who are a threat to throw the ball downfield to big receivers, it seems like that wing tee that is Coach Roth's bread and butter has kind of evolved a little bit to now it's, instead of it being a tight set, 2 backs, 2 wings, 2 tight ends, it's 2 wideouts, 2 wings, and 1 back.
Well, when you have a kid like Hollenbach and you have Fleming and Zachman and Garcia, you could almost argue that those quick outs are long handoffs.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
They're so crisp and clean. They're very low risk. They're so fast. The Red Tornadoes would have to be really prepared to be able to jump that.
And Coach Roth does a good job of kind of adapting his offense to his talent, to his strengths. And as we said, right now, it's all over the offensive side of the ball.
2nd and goal from the 4. The Tigers split it out a little bit. Zachman out to the left, Fleming to the right. It's a 3-step drop. Now Hollenbach's on the move, and he throws it in the end zone. And that's a great play made by number 28, Shane Widener, to make sure that ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, and pressure applied there by number 4, Logan Wills, getting in there. It looked like Hollenbach was looking for something quick. Took 2 steps looking for something quick, didn't have it. Felt the pressure from Wills. It was actually number 26, Troutman, knocking that ball down.
Give credit where credit is due. Great job staying with it, especially as Hollenbach broke contain.
Yeah.
So it's 3rd and 4 here, 28 seconds left. Zachman split out left, Fleming to the right. Hollenbach takes a 3-step drop, and he finds Fleming for another touchdown. My goodness.
And Fleming,
how do you stop that pass?
Fleming goes over the middle. Three defenders around him. He is head and shoulders in height above the defenders covering him. Hollenbach just threw it to him, and it looked like it was easy.
Well, when you see that play, what's happening is Fleming is actually cutting in front of those defenders, and he's boxing them out and giving Hollenbach a huge target. Dunkelberger's kick is up, and it's off the post, so it's going to be no good this time. And the Tigers are now the proud owners of a 20-0 lead over the Red Tornadoes here in Week 2 at the Silver Bowl.
Yeah, and this is what Southern does. Southern takes advantage when they have an opportunity to do it. Twice now, end up in plus territory, you know, with a tough punt, a very good punt return the first time around, and then a kind of muff snap and a very short punt, giving them good field position here. 2 plays, or 2 drives, 2 times they started in plus field position, 2 scores.
So again, after being played to a draw in the first quarter, within 11 and a half minutes of the second quarter, the Tigers are able to put 3 different touchdowns on the board for 20 points. Dunkelberger again to kick off. And you notice, Dunkelberger, he's lining up on the left hash, the hash closest to us, but the Tigers' kick team is also all within the hash line.
This has been typical for Southern for the last number of years. Cut the field in half. Yep. You only have to cover 1/2 of the field.
He's going to kick it all the way down. It's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's going to be a penalty. That'll put Mount Carmel in decent field position here to start the drive.
Now, Jose, one of the things that's interesting, you talk about the Southern kick. I was watching a conversation that Warren that Warren and yourself had with legendary coach Jazz Diminick, and Coach Diminick talked about, I believe it was 1972 at Valley View, when they went into that game knowing that everybody stays in their lanes on kickoffs. Right. And so if one guy doubles one of the defenders, everything kind of gets thrown out of whack.
And it did. Kenny Diminick broke one for about 80 yards for a touchdown up there. Yeah, Jazz spent hours and hours on special teams.
Let's see if the Red Tornadoes opt to try anything here. They're in the wing gun. It's going to be Kricky. And he's got a little bit of room, more room than he's had most of the night. He makes a nice move and gets himself out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So it'll be, nope, they'll give him the 40. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Red Tornadoes from the 40 with 19 and a half seconds left in this first half.
Looked like he was forced out of bounds there by number 8, Max Tillett, number 28, Cal Halliday. Again, continuing to say these guys' names at linebacker. Also did a good job containing their number 11, Miller.
The lateral quickness is something that I think has changed a lot over the last few years that you see, especially from the linebackers. They're flowing from sideline to sideline. We saw it last week with Southern, and certainly these are 2 of the better linebackers you're going to see in the district, if not the state.
I agree.
Reisinger back to throw. They're going to try to make something happen. He's going to move up in the pocket, and he takes a big hit. He fumbles it, actually into the arms of Kricky, and Kricky's going to fight forward. He's going to be down at the 44-yard line.
And I think we're going to see Coach Dara let this one run out.
And that's going to be the end of the first half here at the Silver Bowl. The Red Tornadoes trailing the Southern Columbia Tigers 20-0 in the PCN Game of the Week. We're going to break for the half. We'll be back with stats after that.
for Southern over the years. I mean, that's really a good job. But passing, Stone Hollenbach, 11 of 16 for 127 yards. Julian Fleming has 5 for 41, and Zachman has 3 for 71. Zachman, I thought, was the key, when we're covering Fleming and Zachman breaks loose. For Mount Carmel, 19 rushes for 29 yards, 4 of 10 passing for 41 yards and 4 first downs. Obviously, Southern's football game in the first half, guys, we let it get away right near the end of the half. Had to hang tough. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, those two late scores in the half there within minutes of each other for Southern, those were those were pivotal plays for Southern, and definitely took the wind out of Mount Carmel's sails. Hopefully Mount Carmel was able to get into the locker room, kind of shake the cobwebs off, regroup, and let's see if we can see another competitive half like we had in the first quarter, and possibly see Mount Carmel make a comeback here. I still think they have a chance. Game's never over, especially in a high school football game.
I think it's interesting here. We're at the Silver Bowl. We have a great game featuring 2 of the real premier programs in the state of Pennsylvania, 2 District 4 AA powerhouses. We talked about it before the game, 14 state titles between the 2 schools. And you think of a lot of smash mouth football. And really what we've seen in the first half is it's been through the air for both sides. I mean, obviously the positives on the Southern side. Hollenbach 11 for 16, as you said, with the touchdown passes. And for the Red Tornadoes, really the one big undoing was the intentional grounding penalty.
Without a doubt. And we're going to have to figure out something to move the football. And you can't stay with them if we can't move the ball and get a couple first downs and keep the clock going. You give it back to them. There's too many athletes on a Southern football team.
Yeah, we keep talking about those Southern athletes on the offensive side, and I think we stressed it a lot there in the first half as well. Those athletes that they have on the defensive side of the ball. Their secondary is young, but their secondary is doing a good job coming up in run defense. But sometimes they don't have to. With Howday and Tillett out there running the linebacker spot, they're all over the field, and they're almost, if one of the younger secondary guys is in the wrong spot, they're there to clean it up anyways.
But you talked about that, and I did notice they had 10 guys in a box, 10 guys in a box, but those backers are still making plays on the edge, on the outside, and they can run sideline to sideline, and that speed is just something that's just hard to reckon with at this level of football.
Jose, you called it out early on that it seemed like the Red Tornadoes were targeting Miller from the Tigers on the corner, and they continued to try to do that late, but what we saw was the pressure was so much from the Tiger defense that Reisinger was always retreating to where by the time he's finally planting his back foot and getting rid of that football, he's 10 to 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Right, then he had trouble getting anything on it because he was backpedaling and on his back foot, and it just couldn't step into the throw. And let's face it, Southern Columbia Tigers are a good football team.
And I also think Coach Roth actually made the adjustment after a few times of allowing Reisinger to have the pocket, have a clean pocket, able to step in to make his throw. He's now saying, all right, to his tough linebackers there, Howday and Tillett, you see him drop back to pass, go after him, make him uncomfortable.
And the Red Tornadoes will come out, and they're going to start the second half by kicking off. So again, in the beginning of the game, you win the toss, you want the ball, because you want that opportunity to make a jump. But the inverse is, of course, you give the ball right back to the Tigers here to start the second half.
And how many times have we talked about the first possession in the third quarter goes a long way in determining how the game's going to proceed from here. So that means Mount Carmel is going to definitely have to make a stop. But in squibbing the football and keeping it away from Fleming, our field position going to be at the 50-yard line, and then we're backed up.
Right.
Absolutely. The Red Tornadoes will trot out the freshman number 24, Julian Steller, for the kickoff. And as Jose mentioned, back deep we have Fleming and Garcia.
And we talked a lot about Fleming. I want to get this in there. We talked a lot about Fleming, being the top receiver in his class in the country. If Julian Fleming was not, Julian Fleming, the Julian Fleming that we all know, Preston Zachman would probably be one of the top receivers, and he still is, but just overshadowed by the D1 prospect at times.
Yeah, that's what Jose was talking about earlier. The Tigers have almost an embarrassment of riches, if you will, in terms of offensive weapons. So the ball is set. Stellar signals he's ready. And he's going to get a short kick.
Little pooch kick.
It's going to be taken at the 30-yard line by number 12, Owen Purcell, and he's out near midfield. So the Tigers are going to start just as Jose stated. The Red Tornadoes opt to keep the ball away from Fleming and Garcia with a short kick, and so the Tigers will start the first drive of the second half at their own 49-yard line.
And it's unfortunate for the Mount Carmel defense that they're not able to kick the ball deep, but so much talent there at the receiving position, it's almost impossible to do it.
Hollenbach under center. It's going to be a handoff to Garcia. Garcia's going to try to get the edge. He makes two great moves. He does get the edge, and he's carrying defenders, and he's out across the he's in the Red Tornado territory across the 45. They'll call him out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It'll be very close to a first down.
And that's something that we don't talk too much about with Gage Garcia. We talked about Gavin Garcia being the scat back, being the smaller, shiftier, quick back. But Gage also has his speed. When he gets into open field, he is hard to tackle one-on-one, and he can run away from you.
Second and 4 for the Tigers.
It's to his strength that is really supreme.
It's going to be a handoff up the middle. That's going to be Garcia again, and he doesn't have anywhere to go this time. Tornadoes do a nice job of standing him up before he can really pick up a head of steam. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that's another tough run. Right up the middle, Rhode Armel, and Chapman looked like Ayers and Wills, all three of them in on the tackle for Mount Carmel.
3rd and 2, big play here on both sides of the ball. The Tigers come out in usual formation, wing tee. Fleming split out to Hollenbach's left. And it's going to be a give to Garcia. Garcia's going to try to get to the edge. Cricky does a great job of making a hit. We'll see where the forward progress wind up as they're going away from us toward that sideline.
Yeah, it looked like Mount Carmel was able to string that play out, possibly even for a short loss there.
It is going to be a loss. They're going to put it back at the 44-yard line, so it'll be 4th and 3 for the Tigers here on their initial drive of the second half.
And a very good job there by the left side of the defense there. It looked like it was Chapman, Wills, Ayers, Widener, those guys on the left side there kind of forcing him to stay outside and pushing him out of bounds there for a short loss.
Coach Roth never considered punting this one away, so he brings out the offense. Hollenbach's going to go straight back, and he's got that quick out again, and it's through the hands of Zachman. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes on their own 44-yard line.
And that's a very well put together play there by Coach Roth. Hollenbach making the throw maybe a tad earlier than Zachman expected. Mount Carmel applying a little bit of pressure there, making him get rid of that ball just a slightly early, and Zachman not ready for it.
So a big play by the Red Tornado defense there. We just talked about that first drive. The Red Tornadoes having to be on defense in desperate need of points. They get a quick turnaround, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. They come out in the shotgun wing. Reisinger's in the gun. Ayers to his left. He takes a snap, and he's going to hand it to Widener, who's coming back across the formation. He's hitting the backfield. He's going to lose 2 to 3 yards there. We'll see if they give him forward progress.
Tackle by number 3, Nate Crowell for the Tigers.
It's going to be back to the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12.
And again there, you got those linebackers in there filling gaps. Looks like the initial hit from Max Tillett, and then a host of Tigers coming in to clean it up there. Widener tough to go down.
Reisinger at the line. Ayers is in motion across him. Reisinger's going to roll out. He's got a lot of pressure. He throws it just out of the reach of number 29, Damon Daukus. It's going to fall incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Yeah, that very good coverage on the play by Cal Halliday, picking up that Daukus coming out from that fullback spot there in that shotgun wing. Really, really tough. He was almost breathing on Daukus, on his back. Very, very tough pass to handle for Daukus in that situation.
Again, the Red Tornadoes, just as they made a big play on the other side of the ball, they come out and they face their first 3rd down of the half, looking to try and get something started. Reisinger's going to have a lot of options here. He's going to be in the gun. He's got 3 receivers to his right. Wills is alone to his left. He's going to drop straight back. There's a big rush. It's going to be a screen setup. It's going to be just over the head of number 27, John Ayers. It'll fall harmlessly to the turf. It'll be 4th and 12.
And you know, it did look as though they possibly had a good opportunity there on the screen. Got a big rush coming from Southern. But that defensive front for Southern, so big, so formidable. They're not just, you know, big in girth, as I would say sometimes. They're also very tall, and that's tough for Reisinger to see Ayers over top of those defensive linemen.
Ayers to receive the snap, to punt to Fleming and Garcia. It's a good snap. It's a nice high punt. It's a little bit short. It's going to bounce at about the 43. There's the 38. It's going to stop at the 36. The Red Tornadoes will down it there. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers with 9:59 left in the third quarter, with the Tigers on top 20-0.
So, you know, not exactly what Mount Carmel was looking for there, not really able to get anything going, especially after being in some of the better field position that they've had in the last few drives. You know, they started off in good position to possibly get some momentum going, not able to do it. Southern back on the offensive side of the ball, looking to do the same thing.
Out come the Tigers, wing T. It's the Garcias in the wing, Road Armel behind them. It's going to be Road Armel up the middle, and he's not going to go anywhere. That's the initial hit by number 88, Mike Hood. See 48, Jack Chapman in there as well.
Also in there, Billy Anderson holding up the runner there, Road Armel. Good defensive play there by Mount Carmel, being tough in the middle.
2nd and 9 for the Tigers on the 37. Hollenbach's going to come in with the play. We'll see what the Tigers opt to do. It seems like these first couple drives, much as they were in the first half, are almost the teams feeling each other out.
Guys, you talked a little bit about field position. The farthest we got into Southern territory was the 45-yard line.
Hollenbach drops back. He's got number 32, Road Armel again, and Road Armel's got some room. He's at the 50, the 40. He's down across the 35. He makes 2 guys miss, and he's going to be tackled from behind by number 44, Chapman, all the way down at the 25-yard line. A huge gain for the Tigers.
Yeah, looked like possibly a lapse in the a blown coverage there by Mount Carmel. Somebody let that fullback, not normally an option in the passing game. Road Armel sneaks out there unseen, gets out into the open field for a humongous gain. Hollenbach, good job by finding him.
38 yards on the pickup.
And again, we talked the field possession game.
Tigers back at it to see what they can capitalize on the big play. Hard count. It's going to be a handoff to Garcia. Garcia's off the right side. He makes 2 guys miss. And he plants himself on the sideline there. Tries to cut back, but it looks like he would have stepped out of bounds. They're going to call him out at the 17-yard line after a gain of 8.
Yeah, and again, we talk about Gage Garcia, his lateral quickness, along with his strength. All the Southern Columbia running backs are tough to bring down, and it makes it very difficult for any team that they play to make the tackles.
Wing T, Fleming by himself to the left side. He's got some space there. They're going to bring Gavin Garcia in motion. Great play by John Ayers to make sure Garcia doesn't go anywhere. He had a little bit of open space, but Garcia knifed in there and made a tackle for no gain. Yeah,
Ayers looked like as the outside linebacker there, coming across the line of scrimmage to set the edge. Almost turned to set the edge and caught Gavin Garcia. You know, ran right into his clutches. That's
a play that we've seen Southern run forever. That inside sally off that wing T formation, and really the jersey numbers and names have changed, but that play has stayed pretty solid in the playbook. This time Hollenbach's got 2 receivers. He's going straight back. He's looking to Fleming on a quick slant. It's a little bit low. It's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like Fleming did have a little bit of room there. If Hollenbach would have put the ball on his chest there, he might have been able to have the first down. But looked like it would have been pretty close either way. So it looks like we're going to bring up a 4th down for Southern.
Yeah, it'll be 4th and 3 here from the Mount Carmel 19. Again, the heavies come out. Zachman heads to the sideline. So the Tigers are in the wing T. They'll split Fleming out wide left. Road Armel's right behind Hollenbach. He's going to take a 3-step drop, and he's going to look for Gage Garcia on a wheel route. He makes a great catch for another Southern Columbia touchdown with 8 minutes left. The Tigers are now up 26-0 on the heels of that 19-yard touchdown pass from Hollenbach to Garcia.
Wow, you know, we talked about it last week, how tremendous Mount Carmel's defensive backs did in coverage. Again, Jack Chapman draped all over Gage Garcia there. Garcia just able to create a little bit of separation and bring that ball down for a great catch.
Dunkelberger's kick is up, and this one is true and through the uprights, so it's 27-0 now, Southern Columbia Tigers.
Now this is kind of a gut check time for Mount Carmel. You know, you're down 27. There's 8 minutes left in the third quarter. There's still 20 minutes left in this ball game. You know, there's a lot of time left. A lot of stuff can happen in 20 minutes in a high school football game. This is where you kind of got to see, you know, Coach Dara, what's the move here? Are we gonna kind of roll over, or are we gonna go out there and try and put some points on the board, try and make this comeback? I think as a Mount Carmel alum, that's always been what Mount Carmel's good at. They never quit. They never give in and they never give up. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mount Carmel come back out on the field on the offensive side of the ball.
Danny, you're 100% right. It's gut check time to see how we're going to perform the rest of the year.
Yep.
You know, and one game doesn't make a season. And if we're going to establish ourselves as somebody to be reckoned with in District 4, we're going to have to come back here and play some solid football and not let this thing get totally away from us.
Absolutely, and that's all that you really need to do. It doesn't have to be a humongous comeback for a win. Just show that you're not going to quit.
Dunkelberger to kick off, and again, it's going to be down there. It's going to be Cricky at about the 7. He's got some move upfield. He's going to make a couple of guys miss. He's going to be upended at the 24-yard line. That's where the Red Tornadoes will start their next drive.
Number 11, Shane Miller on that tackle there. Looked like Karicki was able to make a few guys miss, but Shane Miller came down, got the little shoestring tackle there, tripped him up. So we'll see what Mount Carmel's offense can look to do here.
Well, I think the big thing here is, again, and Jose, you alluded to it, if Mount Carmel plans to be a District 4 powerhouse again, you know that District 4 crown goes through the guys wearing white and gold tonight. So you really need to muster something here so that at the very least you walk out of the Silver Bowl tonight thinking, okay, we figured this out.
Yeah, just something to let the Tigers, know we got you now. We'll see you in the playoffs.
Reisinger fakes the pitch to Ayers, and he tries to go up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go. He's going to get to the 25-yard line. So when the Red Tornadoes come out again, it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 25.
You guys are right. There could definitely be another game down the road, week 13.
Yep.
It's just a matter of just hanging with what we do and continuing to play hard and use this as something that we can definitely show the Tigers we can play with them like we did last year.
Yes, sir.
So the Red Tornadoes come out. Reisinger's got 2 wide receivers out to his left. He's got 1 to his right. He's going to take the snap and roll out to the left. It's going to be Chapman on a quick out. He makes the catch. It's a great tackle out there by number 24. That's going to be 24 is Cade Lynn. Great tackle there, preventing Chapman from getting upfield after a really nice on-time and on-target throw from Reisinger.
Yeah, it was a well put together play there. Chapman coming out of that tight end spot unnoticed on a quick out, and Reisinger did a good job of finding him. But again, great tackle by Cade Lynn.
Picked up 6 for a 3rd and 3 from the 31. Clock ticks towards 6.5. The Red Tornadoes trailing the Southern Columbia Tigers 27-0 here at the Silver Bowl. Reisinger looks for a hard count. He stops and resets. He takes a snap, and it's Ayers up the middle. Ayers makes a couple moves, and he's got some room, and he's in the open
and he's
field.
Free.
And he's across the 50, the 45, down to the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him down, and that is going to be a huge play for this offense.
And that's a very good job by Ayers there. It's 3rd and 3, trying to get the first down. Everybody's kind of jammed inside, and somehow Ayers gets through there, gets through all that traffic, all that stuff going on in the middle, and able to break away for a big gain.
And that's one of the things we talked about in the pregame, was the idea that Southern was going to stack the box so much that if they could get to that second level, Mount Carmel has players who can make moves in space and may have success there. Red Tornadoes will come out in the same formation again. It's going to be Reisinger. He's going to fake it to Ayers this time. He's going to float it across the middle, and it's a little short and a little off target to number 88, Mike Hood.
Yeah, it looked like he possibly had the throw to Hood there. It looked like Fleming wasn't exactly ready for the ball to be on the way there. Hood did have a step, but again, the two guys in the backfield, Max Tillett and Cal Halliday, applying the pressure, forced Reisinger to make a off-target throw.
It's really a great play call by the Red Tornado offense there. I mean, it looks just like the play that Ayers just picked up 40 yards on.
You know, you guys have talked about it all night long. We're talking about their offensive skills. Their linebackers are definitely a strength of this football team.
Yes, they are.
This time, Reisinger will hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to try to make something happen. He'll cross the 40 down to the 38 and run into those aforementioned linebackers.
As you said, Jose, it seems like no matter where the ball ends up on the field, one of those two or both of them are within the vicinity of the ball. They're always getting in that picture frame, as we used to talk about it. You know, watching film with the team afterwards, you want to be in the picture frame, you want to be around the ball.
Give credit there to 81 Peyton Purcell and 67 Lear Quinton as well. They were both near the bottom of that pile. So the Red Tornadoes looking to make something happen now. Reisinger's got two receivers split out to his left, one to his right. Ayers is in motion across the formation. Reisinger stops, and he's going to throw, and he's got Widener, and he's just going to miss him. Widener had a step on Fleming on a little corner route, but he did just overthrow him.
Yeah, that's a tough throw for Reisinger because of the athletic ability of Fleming. You want to kind of give Widener an extra step because you know that Fleming is a big, long defender. He can kind of make up some room, so you want to give a little bit of extra room there for Widener to make that catch. Just put a little bit too much on it.
Red Tornadoes looking to the sideline here. It's 4th and 8 from the 39. So again, you have the big play from Ayers. You certainly don't want to walk away from this drive empty-handed, so you're going to hope you can dial something up here. It's going to be Widener and Chapman split out to the left. Avery Dempko is going to be split out to the right. Reisinger's going to take the snap, and he's looking at Dempko the whole way. And he's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to let it go. He's got Dempko on a double move. He's up 14, and it's going to be a great catch. All the way down. He's going to be tackled at the 4-yard line.
And I get Avery Dempko come down with a tough catch because that coverage was very tight there. But also give credit to Reisinger. So much pressure in the pocket there, able to stand in there on a big 4th down play, stood in there tough, and delivered an accurate ball for Dempko to go up there and get it.
Yeah, big play for the Red Tornadoes there in terms of just building that confidence. So they're going to come back out. Reisinger's going to be on the sideline here. It's going to be Ayers in the Wildcat. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to pick his route, and he's going to move up the middle, and he's going to be into the end zone for a Red Tornado touchdown.
And see, that's what this Mount Carmel offense is capable of. When, you know, even though Southern's defense is so tough and so potent and so good at what they do, this is the ability that Mount Carmel's offense has. They can move the ball in big chunks, and they can also, in short yardage play, give it to the senior, the captain, and put the ball in his hands.
Julian Steller on to attempt the PAT. Going to be number 9, Tyler Owens on the hold. It's a good snap and a good hold. The kick is going to be up, and that's going to be down the middle. Good. So with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter, the Southern Tigers lead the Red Tornadoes 27-7.
And that's kind of what we talked about there, Jim. Coming into the second half, and after Southern gets that big score on their last drive, the way that they're going to answer. We just spoke about it, and as Jose and I both alluded to, this is the grit that a Mount Carmel football team is supposed to have. They have that competitive edge. They play with that intensity. This is what Mount Carmel football is about. No, you may be down, but you're never out.
The Red Tornadoes defense has done a really good job, and it's a tough thing to say a lot of times when there's 27 points on the board, but they've done a nice job. They've gotten the ball back from the Tigers fairly often via punt and turnover on downs. So the idea of getting a quick stop here and getting that ball back is not out of the question.
Yeah, and as Jose spoke about it before the game, when Mount Carmel played Southern last year, the first time in the regular season and only gave up 29 points. Ever since then, Southern has never scored less than 40 in a game.
So the Red Tornadoes come out to kick. The Tigers look to expect some sort of a pooch punt. They have Fleming and Garcia up closer. And Julian's going to try, Stellar's going to try an onside kick. It was really a nice job, but that's going to be covered up by number 12, Owen Purcell.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the freshman Stellar may have noticed, okay, they're set up for this kick that we did last time. Still don't want to kick it to Fleming. So he was able to kind of make an adjustment and actually didn't end up,
on the 50.
Yeah. Southern still got decent field position, but they're not in plus territory. They're not right around the 50-yard line.
Yep, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. We'll get a quick officials timeout here to get the kicking tee off the field. But yeah, you see that onside kick attempt that's not necessarily always an onside kick attempt sometimes, where the kicker keeps it low and almost just runs next to the ball.
Yeah, just tries to chase it.
And tries to snag it after it hits that 10 yards. The Tigers come out. Fleming split out to the left. Otherwise, it's the wing T. 2 in the backfield. This is going to be handoff to Garcia. Gage Garcia, that is, up the middle. And he's going to power forward for a gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 45-yard line.
And you see him right behind number 75 there, Troy Donlin. It looked like Gage got right on the back of Troy Donlin, the big number 75, the offensive lineman, and just followed him to pick up 6 yards.
And it'll be interesting to see how the Tigers approach this drive, if they want to grind it out and really punish the Red Tornadoes, or if they want to go up top and try to get a quick score back. Hollenbach's going to turn. He's going to hand it to Gavin Garcia. And Garcia makes a nice move to make something out of nothing before he's hit very hard by multiple Tornadoes across the 50 at the 49-yard line. But that will result in a Southern Columbia first down.
Yeah, and it's funny, Jim, the way that you phrased that last thing was go up top and hit him for a quick one. It's as we talked all game about Southern Columbia's weapons on offense. Everybody's going up top. Everybody could be a quick hitter, but let's see if Mount Carmel can get a stop.
Same formation for the Tigers. Fleming to the wide side of the field. It's Gavin Garcia in motion. It's going to be play action, and he's got Gage Garcia wide open. He's going to catch it at about the 15, and he's going to be all the way down to the 2-yard line. And really, the Red Tornadoes are fortunate there. Garcia lost his footing a little bit, or that would have been 6.
Yeah, and again, that's Garcia coming off of that wing spot in the wing T. That's where he plays all game long. But he is such a good athlete. He can do so many different things out of there. He can get the sweeps. He can get the handoffs, the bellies that they run, and he can go down the field, beat a defender, and pick up a big play through the air.
It'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers from the 3. Tigers already with a 27-7 lead over the Red Tornadoes with 3.5 left here in the third quarter. It's going to be Garcia up the middle. We'll wait and see. And he is in for another Tiger touchdown. Gage Garcia on a 3-yard plunge with 3:32 left in the third quarter. That's going to make it 33-7 in favor of the visiting Tigers.
And again, we talked about the multiple depths to Garcia. Another great run.
Great effort there. Number 16, Dunkelberger along for the PAT. The Red Tornadoes look like they jumped there. Wait for the officials to give us the...
Yeah, that was an offside call.
Hollenbach over 200 yards now, guys. 14 of 21, 229 yards.
That's a pretty good line there for Hollenbach, and considering how good these running backs have done as well.
You know what impresses me is it's shared.
Yeah.
He's thrown to Garcia, he's thrown to Rodarmel, he's thrown to Zekman and Fleming, and the ball's moving around, and he's made all different types of throws.
Yes, and he has so many weapons out there, so many people. It's nice. It must be nice as a quarterback to have all those options.
So the Tigers will set up again for the extra point here. And Dunkelberger is going to go ahead and he's going to drill that through, and it's going to be 34-7. I want to go ahead and point out that that's Zachman on the hold for the Tigers as well. So again, a lot of these Tigers do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, again, here we go. Southern's offense so tough to play against. You got so many guys that can beat you in multiple ways, over the top, up the middle, around the outside, and they can all kind of do it in each way. They all have multiple, I should say, verses and multiple things that they can do well offensively. Makes it tough for any defense. I wouldn't want to be Mount Carmel's defense out there having to make all those stops.
You notice Mount Carmel now has switched Karicki and Widener to this side of the field, hoping that Widener gets an opportunity for a run back. Unless they see it and he's able to direct it to the other side of the field again.
Right.
Dunkelberger again, the kickoff, and he's going to drill this down the middle. It's going to be Widener when he picks it up. He's going to pick it up at about the 7. And he's going to try to get back across the field, but there are just too many Tigers down there. He's going to be down at the 14-yard line.
And it looked like Rhode Armel and Halliday down there on the tackle there, number 28 and number 32. And Widener looked like if he would have been able to make one or two guys miss there, he would have been able to get the corner. But that's what it seems like Southern's kickoff team does. They kind of close that gate. They stay in their lanes on up the hashes and close that gate to kind of close that off, not let anybody get to the outside.
I'm surprised more teams don't do what Southern does, cutting the field in half and making it easy to cover.
Right.
And gives you a lot less space between people because you're only on one half of the field.
Yeah, that's very true.
Red Tornadoes come to the line. Reisinger's in the gun. Nope, take that back. That's Ayers in the Wildcat. He's going to take the snap and he's going to hand it off to Widener. And Widener's going to put his head down. He's going to pick up a few yards. He's going to be out across the 15 to the 16. We'll call it a 2nd and 9.
Looks like we may stay in this somewhat form of a wildcat here that Mount Carmel runs with Ayers as the quarterback. Looks like maybe they're giving Reisinger a little breather, trying to establish a little bit of a run game here.
Don't forget John threw for over 1,000 yards as a sophomore, so he can also throw off of this.
He's going to take the snap, and that's exactly what he's going to do. It's a fake, and he's going to stop, and Ayers is he's going to go down at the sack. He eluded a few rushers, but he's ultimately going to fall at the 8-yard line. Be a loss of 9.
Looked like number 81, Peyton Purcell in there, along with 67, Lear Quinton, and of course, number 8, Max Tillett.
And we talk about these athletes that Southern Columbia has, and again, Dan, you mentioned we spent a lot of time talking about the skill players, but a lot of them a lot of the linemen are extremely athletic as well. Lear Quinton, for instance, very successful wrestler.
195-pounder.
Yep.
That's right, yeah. And I'll tell you what, these guys, they're the ones that make this offense and defense go. They don't get the credit that they should.
Reisinger back in there now. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it to Karicki. Karicki's going to try to get around the end, but there's not a whole lot of room for him there. He's going to get to the 10 before being driven out of bounds. And the clock will tick under 1 minute and 50 seconds left in the third quarter. The Southern Columbia Tigers up 34-7.
Yeah, and it looked like we give the Southern defense there a lot of credit about their lateral speed there. They were able to kind of rally to that ball and make a very good play there, because Karicki's got a lot of talent on the outside, a lot of speed, and very tough to bring down.
2 back for the Tigers. It's Fleming and Garcia. Ayers standing about 6 inches inside his own end zone. Now he moves up to the goal line to take this snap. Takes it. He's going to get a nice punt off. Fleming's going to have to retreat a little bit. He's going to get out of the way. It's going to take a bounce. He's going to take it on the bounce at the 39-yard line, and he's got some room on the right side of the field. He's picking up steam. He's at the 40. He's across the 30. He's not getting. Nobody's going to catch him. He's going to be in for a Tiger touchdown. My goodness, that's going to be about a 61-yard touchdown, but there is a flag on the play back around the 39-yard line.
And we'll see what this penalty is. Again, like a fantastic. It looked like Fleming was going to let that ball go by him. Was just going to let it roll to a stop, and then he picks it up and gets to the outside and kind of runs away from everybody.
Yeah, and the official moved the flag about 2 yards, which makes me think it's going to be a block in the back, and it is.
And it is. Yep.
That's going to be a spot foul there.
So, part of the reason that Fleming had all that room was aided by the penalty there. So Mount Carmel's got a little catches a little break here, and looks like Southern's going to take over on offense.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers on their own 49-yard line, so just inside their own territory.
That's another 51-yard punt for John Ayers when you consider that it was in that situation, it was a great punt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job of kind of getting the ball out of there, and trying to flip the field position a little bit.
But again, Fleming just shows you the skills that he has.
Yeah.
It almost looks effortless when he's so smooth going down the sideline there.
Plus his vision. The last 12 yards, he knew there was no one around him. He walked into the end zone.
Hollenbach's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it to Gage Garcia. He's trying to get the edge. That's not going to be Gage Garcia. That's actually going to be number 3 for the Tigers.
Nate Kroll.
Nate Kroll. And Kroll does a nice job of cutting back across the grain and picking up good yardage, but there is another flag on the play.
Yeah, and we think about it as we figure out what the flag is here. Kroll, haven't seen him all game, and then comes in and breaks off a 15-yard run. That's the kind of talent that this Southern Columbia team has.
And that's going to be a hold against the Tigers.
And that looks like it will be a 10-yard penalty.
They're going to take that 10 from the spot of the foul. So the initial hold looks like it occurred right around the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 1st and 20 for the Tigers from their own 39-yard line.
But again, as we said, Kroll coming off the bench, probably, looks like he hadn't gotten too many. I don't think he had a carry up to this point in the game, and comes out, breaks off a 15-yard run there. That's just how much depth and talent that these guys have.
Hollenbach in the pistol. The short shotgun. There's a lot of motion up front. We'll see the flag. We'll try to let the officials determine who jumped first. It's going to be the Tigers, so it's going to be another 5 yards. They're going to put themselves in a 1st and 25 from the 34-yard line.
Yeah, now I'm interested to see the way that Southern goes about this. I know I've seen Jim Roth, Coach Roth, coach for years now, and I've played against him. I'd like to see him take this as a challenge and try
Tigers come out in the same formation. It's the pistol. Hollenbach's going to take a quick 3-step drop, and now he's got time. He's going to find Fleming across the middle, and Fleming is moving, and nobody's got an angle on him. Fleming is down the sideline, the 20, the 10, the 5, another Southern Columbia touchdown on a 66-yard touchdown reception.
And
so Fleming had the 61-yard punt return called back, and he said, don't worry, guys, I've got this, and I'll tack 5 yards on it as well.
And that just shows the pure athletic ability of wide receiver Julian Fleming. He caught that ball over the middle, Mount Carmel guys around him, and just ran away from everybody.
Yep. Dunkelberger on to attempt the PAT. It's a good snap, a good hold. The kick is up, and the kick is going to be good. And with that, the Tigers take a 41-7 lead over the Red Tornadoes with just over 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We can talk about Fleming's speed. Quite frankly, the kid has wheels.
Yeah, he definitely does. And that's, as I was alluding to right before the play was snapped there, Coach Roth, it seems like, is always one of those people. He's like, okay, we'll take the penalties, whatever. I bet you we'll still score. And what do? The next play, after putting themselves in a 15-yard hole on a 10-yard holding and a 5-yard false start penalty, they go 66 yards for a touchdown.
Unofficially, that gives Fleming 6 for, where am I there? 126.
It's not a bad
which
day.
Is a typical average game for him, I think.
Yeah, he's one of those players that he has such big playability. It seems like he averages, 30, 40 yards per reception.
And I hate to say this, but I think his injury last year just could have been one of the things that really propels him into being this Division I receiver, because I think he worked awful hard in the offseason, and it's noticeable if you look at his body. He's worked tremendously hard to improve himself.
Yeah, I think so.
Cricky takes the kickoff at the 5, and he's going to try to cross the field. He's got nowhere to go. There's a wall of Tigers. Looks like he'll have gotten out to about the 16-yard line. Again, Jose, that's another Red Tornado drive that's going to start inside their own 20.
Yeah. Most of them have.
And then, again, two familiar jerseys down there around the ball, Cal Halliday and Tillett.
And at the end of the third quarter, the Red Tornadoes find themselves trailing 41-7 here at the Silver Bowl. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And we are back here at the Silver Bowl. First play of the third quarter. It's going to be Noah Burkowski on a handoff around the side. Not going to pick up a whole lot there. He's going to get a yard out to the 17-yard line. The Red Tornadoes find themselves trailing 41-7.
Guys, a little idea of where we're at here. Mount Carmel, a total offense of 141 yards, and Southern at the 398 mark at the end of three quarters.
Wow. Again, a lot of that offensive kind of stops for Mount Carmel is attributed to the play of linebackers Max Tillett and Cal Halliday.
And that one, Reisinger's going to fake the pitch to Ayers and pick his way up the middle. He'll pick up a few yards, get them into a third and manageable, we'll call it. It's going to be 3rd and 5 as he got out to the 23-yard line.
Looks like a fresh face out there or a fresh legs out there for Mount Carmel. Jacob Reese checking into the game there, playing at, I believe, one of the slot backs.
I think that's Jared Stewart in there too, number 76 at tackle.
Yes, it is. Very, very big kid. Looks like
he's a hard guy to miss.
Yeah, looks like he's got a lot of potential.
Reisinger's still out there. He's in the gun. He's got Ayers to his left. He's going to take the snap, and he'll hand it to Ayers. We're going to get a whistle on the play. May have been a little motion up front for the Red Tornadoes. That's exactly what the officials are going to call. That'll be a 5-yard penalty, put the Tornadoes back into a 3rd and 9.
And, as we talked about this Southern Columbia depth a little bit, having so many guys that don't play both sides of the ball, it's definitely a positive thing for Southern. And that's what makes it a little bit tough sometimes. I don't want to give anybody an excuse or anything like that, but Mount Carmel has multiple two-way players, and at this point in the game, kind of just running out of gas.
The Red Tornadoes come out in the shotgun. They brought in their receiver package. They've got 3 to the right. Avery Demko alone to his left. Reisinger's going to drop back, and he's looking that way. It's a quick hitch. Demko's going to grab the ball up off the turf. It's a low throw. He's going to cross the 25. He works really hard to get out to the 26-yard line, but I think we're going to be just a yard shy here, so we'll see what the Red Tornadoes opt to do on 4th and 1, down 41-7 to the Southern Columbia Tigers with 10:15 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and Avery Demko, not a very big guy, not a very husky kid, but fighting for those extra yardage to try and get close to that first down.
Avery really worked hard in the offseason, guys, to improve himself. Obviously, a part of that 4x1 team last year that medaled at States, and improved his speed tremendously and worked really hard in the weight room and with the balance techniques and everything else. And he's gotten himself some offensive reps here, too.
But as the officials call for a measurement, I'd like to thank Service Electric Cablevision for providing WKMC TV the means to bring our programming to you for the last 50 years. Again, WKMC TV celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. First broadcast September 12th, 1968. And while here at the Silver Bowl last week we celebrated that legendary 1968 Red Tornado team, tonight we actually brought back all the drum majors And that was really cool to see, guys. It was a nice homage to Red Tornado tradition. As you could see all the past drum majors out on the field, and they were all kind of in a line, signing the same exact, conducting the band in the same exact way.
Well, we've tried to do that the last couple of years. We brought the band back for Paul Simichik at a very timely time. We brought back the cheerleaders last year, this year the drum majors. And it's just a way to try to keep connected to our alums.
On a 4th and short here, the Tornadoes opt to punt. The Tigers aren't buying it, though. They don't have anybody back deep.
Yeah,
Ayers looking to punt. It's gonna for the Tigers. It's gonna be number 24. Cade Lynn is the deepest guy back, and he's at about 8 yards off the ball.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Mount Carmel has something up their sleeve here.
Clean snap to Ayers, and he's gonna punt it. He's gonna get it out of there. There's nobody back there. It's a great bounce. Oh,
Awesome
that'll
bounce.
do a lot for your net, Jose.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna
He's
roll.
going to have a nice average tonight.
That's going to roll all the way down to the 15 before Pupo downs that punt. He's done a great job on punt coverage all night.
Well, he's done a great job all year. He's the first time he's played football at this level, and last week he had 3 tackles on special teams and did a real nice job, and he's around the football all night tonight.
Yes, he is. He definitely makes his presence known when he does get his opportunity out there on the field, although it may not be as often as he'd like. He's making the most of his opportunities, and that's what the coaches like to see, and that's what gets you more time on the field.
Absolutely. A 59-yard punt that time for John Ayers. So
Wow.
And that time on the field is in education. And speaking of education, the Mount Carmel Area Education Foundation has been helping the Mount Carmel Area School District through donations for arts, academics, and athletics. You can make your donation today online at www.mca.k12.pa.us under the Contribute menu. The Tigers will start their drive at the 15 to hand it off to Gage Garcia, and he's going to be out across the 25, pick up a Tiger first down, and they'll be moving the chains here again.
And it looked like possibly an offensive lineman there was able to climb up onto the linebacker and open the gigantic hole. It looked like you could have ran 3 Gage Garcias through that side by side and still would have picked up the same amount of yardage.
1st and 10, the Tigers come to the line. Going to be Zachman split out right. Hollenbach starting to watch the play clock. He'll take the snap, and this time he's going to give it to Garcia the Younger, and he makes 3 great moves to get upfield across the 30. He tackled at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, definitely looked like Gavin Garcia was going to be stopped in the backfield there. It looked like Mount Carmel got very good penetration through the offensive line there, but able to make a few guys miss and pick up 5-6 yards.
Talk about a lot of these kids that get stronger through the offseason. A lot of therapy after the games. And certainly the Mount Carmel trainers do a great job, and we want to just recognize Star Physical Therapy and Fitness as well in Marion Heights. It's rehabilitation and fitness training. It serves the local sports team and area residents. So it's a great place that we have up here in Marion Heights. Hollenbach takes the snap and hands it off to Crowell again. And he's going to be very close to the 35-yard line. See exactly where they mark it. Just over the 35. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and about the length of the football.
Yeah, and we continue to talk about Southern Columbia's depth, all the athletes that they have on this field. It doesn't matter if you're giving the ball to either one of the Garcias. If Hollenbach's going to keep it and throw it to Fleming or Zachman, or if he's going to give it to Kroll or Rodarmel. So many options, so talented offensively.
At the 8-minute mark, Hollenbach takes the snap and he hands it to Garcia, who's fighting across the 40. Down at the 43-yard line is where we mark him. And it's impressive how often he gets hit.
Oh yeah, he takes a beating in games. I mean, he carries the ball a lot, and he makes people miss, but he's always getting bounced around here and there, and he just keeps coming.
So Jose, let me ask you a question. There's 7:45 left. It's week 2. It's 41-7 Southern, and Gage Garcia is getting handoffs between the tackles. Are the Tigers trying to make a point here?
It's a good question, Jimmy. I didn't quite think about it now. I don't know what we're trying to establish. He does have other folks in the game. Maybe that was it for Gage. I'm not sure.
That's going to be Rodarmel.
But you're right, it's a long season, and you wonder whether we want to risk anything at this stage.
Red Tornadoes are going to stop Rhode Armor for a loss of 2.
And actually, as you just spoke on it, it looks like we are going to see a big personnel change here for Southern Columbia.
Absolutely, and we will, as we see them coming in and out, we're going to do our best to make sure these gentlemen get recognized as they get out there. Certainly see number 56, Tyler Brophy for the Tigers. 78 is Johnny Kinsley.
And in at the quarterback spot, that's number 13. That's Ronnie Zito.
Ronnie Zito. We're going to get a timeout here. Timeout seems like a great time. Again, we talked earlier about a lot of the tradition, and right now the Red Tornadoes are working with their Tornado Brick Project. The Mount Carmel School District has begun a Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project. At the MCA Silver Bowl, the project includes a brick 6-foot by 6-foot water jet image of our Red Tornado logo in the center. The logo will be surrounded by 4x8-inch and 12 by 12-inch bricks, with all proceeds going to the general upkeep of the Silver Bowl Stadium. The location for the project is in the south end zone, so when you come to the Silver Bowl this season, you may have already noticed that it's underway. The project's goal is to create a new tradition and gathering place for fans before sporting events at the stadium at the Brick Project site. For more information about the Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project, please contact the MCA Junior Senior High School Principal Office, Athletic Office, District Office at 570-339-1500, or Jose Gonzalo, at rxmanjag@gmail.com. You can also make orders by printing the order form online.
Yeah, it's been a vision of mine for years, Jimmy, and we finally got it to fruition, especially with the help of Pete Cheddar, and we were off to a nice start. It's going to have another phase. October 1st is the next deadline for ordering blocks, and I hope people take advantage of it and let your name here forever.
Well, I think it was a really interesting decision because, again, any of us who have been around this Red Tornado program for a while, the south end zone looks a little bit empty without what we affectionately call the creature bleachers. So the idea that that's where we wanted to put a legacy brick project, it's perfect.
Well, it was something. It was better than the empty end zone, and we couldn't afford, or was it financially correct to put $150,000 in the bleachers when we have certainly enough bleacher seats for everybody else to sit here right now, and it just didn't make that much sense financially. But if we can beautify the end zone and make it look better and have people gather there and make it a gathering place, like you said, Tornado Alley or whatever you want to call it, it's perfect.
Yep. And on third and 9 there, they're going to give the ball to Brandon Gedman. He's going to get up near the 45. The Tigers are going to opt to punt. It's 4th and 7 on their own 44. They have a 41-7 lead here, again, in a District 4 Class AA matchup against the Red Tornadoes. Again, 5:20 left. The snap to Fleming. Fleming still out there to punter. And that is a sky-high punt. My goodness, that's going to bounce at the 36, and it's going to ultimately be down by the Tigers at the 41-yard line. But my goodness, did that get up there?
Yeah, that ball definitely had some hang time on it, and it seemed like something that I noticed actually in film earlier this week. Fleming does a very good job of getting the ball in the air and letting his coverage team get downfield to make a stop. But in that situation for Mount Carmel, that's one of those ones we used to call it poison. The ball's high, it's short, we yell poison, everybody get away, take the ball where it lands.
And with 5:12 left here and the game all but decided, a lot of folks making their way to the exits. Possibly some of them are going to make their way to Matucci's, and the best place to be on a Thursday night would be Matucci's Cafe Supper Club, Matucci's Willow Street Cafe. It's another season of Mount Carmel football, and we're going to get a handoff. It's going to be Stellar is the quarterback. Again, he's going to do kicking duty as well. He's going to hand that to number 9, Tyler Owens, who's going to pick up a few.
And that's a great tackle by number 46, Wade Kerstetter there.
But again, if you're you're interested in what's going on with the program, the football team, the cheerleaders, the band, all of the above, you head down to Matucci's Willow Street Cafe on Thursday nights at 6:15 p.m. It's a great chance to interact with different players, cheerleaders, and band members, and get some information from the coaching staff on some upcoming games. Again, if that piques your interest, you want to make your way to the back room at Matucci's Willow Street Cafe at 6:15 p.m. every Thursday night of the football season for some great food and better conversation.
And a good little run there by freshman quarterback Julian Stellar there. That little fake pitch
up the middle run. It was a good job by Stellar. Didn't have a lot in front of him. Still picked up 3-4 yards.
You know, one of the cool things about being able to have the PCN game of the week tonight, as well as the 50th anniversary of WKMC TV, is the ability to kind of reach out to alumni and have folks that have left the area kind of get an idea of what's going on. And that's going to be a handoff to
Dylan Pupo.
Yep, to 32 Pupo. So again, Coach Dara saw fit to reward Pupo a little bit there for all his hard work, give him a carry here late in the game. But yeah, with the alumni and being able to keep everybody connected, I would be curious for all of you who are out there that are still with us. Send us a tweet at WKMC TV and let us know just where you're listening from. It'd be interesting to see who's out there paying attention to us on a fun Friday night here at the Silver Bowl.
Yeah, it definitely would be interesting to find that out.
4th and 1, and it's going to be Stellar, and he's not going to get the first down. He faked the pitch to Owens and tried to get up across the 50 on a keeper. He's going to be stopped right at the 50, and so with 3 minutes and 14 remaining here in the 4th quarter, the Tigers are going to take over on downs.
Yeah, and again, a tough run by Stellar, just not able to get there for the first down. And as you said, Jim, it would be very interesting to see where people are listening from. You know, being on PCN, broadcasting live across the state of Pennsylvania. You know, from the Rocky Bottoms of Lake Erie to the sandy shores of Philadelphia, as you know, Mr. Ryan would have said.
We're going to get a timeout. Red Tornadoes here, Coach Dara. You have a lot of young guys in there. You take a minute to reset and kind of talk them through things. And speaking of training, I want to give a thank you to K&S Music, Route 487 in Pax Inus. K&S is everything for the beginner or professional musician. We like to thank their experienced staff who provide quality instruments and instruction. And again, speaking of staff, again, Dan, you mentioned it perfectly. We're broadcasting across the state tonight with PCN, and we certainly couldn't do that without the help of all the young men and young women in the TV studio. On the cameras, we have Tyler Barnhart, Doherty Feziak, Corn Enos, Darren Rosenstein, and Jade Whitmer. Graphics of Jaylee Gonzalez. Replay, Haley Bressy. Video coordinators, G. Belfonte and Jake Evans. Production assistants, Aaron Bossler and Krista Kimzel. And on the master control, Ayana Aguirre. So again, thank you guys. They're certainly not going to always get as much credit as they deserve, but they're what makes this happen. Dan, myself, and Jose, we get to show up and talk about football.
Yeah, they're the only people that really have to be here on Friday night. You know, we wouldn't be able to do what we do and get out here and talk about the sport that we love and something that we love to talk about if it wasn't for them.
For the Tigers, it's going to be a handoff to Braden Heim. He's going to pick up a gain of 4. Call it 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 47-yard line.
2nd and 7 for the Tigers.
Snapping, it's going to be another handoff. This time it's going to be number 26.
Austin Ambrose.
25, Brandon Gedman on the carry.
Yeah, Austin Ambrose. He's a 5'11 senior in there getting his first carry, it looked like.
It's going to be a great play for the Red Tornadoes there. It looks like it's going to be number 58. Noah Fry. Let me hand it off up the middle to Whitmer again. Heim, apologies. Braden Heim. And he'll get down to the 46-yard line, where it'll be 4th and 6 for the Tigers. But again, the Tigers currently holding a 41-7 lead against the Red Tornadoes, and the clock ticks under 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in this one.
We will see a new punter for Southern Columbia. It looks like number 68, Matt Carl.
It's really a great punt. It's going to be all the way down to the 6-yard line.
Yeah, and it looked like as that ball was rolling, it may have hit the foot of a Red Tornado, and Dylan Pupo, luckily in the area and having the wherewithal to jump on that ball before Southern Columbia could pick it up.
Speaking of feet, if you got a chance, get yourself out to Archie's Shoe Store at 828 Chestnut Street in Coltmont, where you can get shoes, for the entire family. And hey, if you need other Red Tornado gear, or really for any of the local teams, feel free to head down to Academy Sports in Mount Carmel. Customized printing and embroidery on anything, including uniforms for businesses, sports teams, and organizations. So the Red Tornadoes are going to start what's conceivably the last drive of the game at their own 6-yard line. It'll be Steller in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap and he's going to fake the pitch to Pupo, and he's going to make some moves up the middle. He's got some space. Big run there for Julian Steller. Great vision.
Very good run by Steller, and it looked like the blockers that got out in front of him had almost nobody to block. It looked like that hole opened up. He had number 54 Reese, or number 3 Reese, I apologize, along with number 54 Mike Mikowski leading that play, and letting Steller pick up a good 12, 13 yards there.
Same formation for the Tornadoes. This is what they do. Pupo in motion. Steller is going to hand it off to Owens, and Owens is rumbling down the field. What a great job by Tyler Owens across the 30. They're going to mark him down at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, I tell you what, Jim, I don't like to have people let people know of my age a little bit, but I feel like I'm getting old when I start seeing some of these guys that I coached in Pee Wee football as Coltmont Cougars, and now they're out here playing for the Big Red.
Nice run by Pupo again. He'll take the handoff. So we'll see how he's doing there. Again, we're ticking down here. It's 30 seconds left on the second Friday night of the football season. The Tigers up 41-7. Speaking of Friday nights, tomorrow's Saturday. Saturday, you can head down to the Mount Carmel Farmers Market. There's over 50 local vendors. It opens every Saturday, 8 to 2, Route 61 and 54 near Atlas.
And it looks like this may be the last play of the game here for Mount Carmel.
Yep, Steller will keep it himself, and he's got some room. He's doing a great job. That second unit is doing a great job for the Red Tornadoes. He's across the 45. He's going to be at the 46. He picked up a first down, so the clock will stop for them to reset. But when the ball is set, we're going to have just a few seconds here.
And the clock is running.
The clock's running, and that's going to do it here at the Silver Bowl. The Red Tornadoes come out against the Tigers, and the Tigers, unfortunately for Mount Carmel, are on top 41-7. Big win for Central Columbia. They did a great job coming out here. Southern Columbia does a great job coming out, doing exactly what they need to do. They get up and they get on top in the first half. They ride it out to the second half, and they're going to go home victors. Speaking of going home, we're going to get out of here. It's been a great night. Thank you to PCN Service Electric and WKMC TV. Good night.
Good night.
So we're here at the Silver Bowl again. We just wrapped a very big Southern Columbia win, 41-7. We talked a lot about what was going to happen tonight early on in terms of scoring 40-plus points. Mount Carmel having been defeated the last 7 times, now 8 times again by the Tigers. It was close. Mount Carmel really was, they put together a valiant effort in the first quarter, and then the Tigers started to figure out this Mount Carmel defense and put some points on the board.
Yeah, I would say definitely in that first quarter, I thought, as I said in the opening tonight, I thought if this ended up being a close game, I thought that Mount Carmel had a very good opportunity to get a win. They did a great job keeping it close in the first quarter. Weren't able to put any points on the board, but also kept Southern's very potent offense off of the board and kept them from putting any points up. But just Southern's offense is so talented and has so many weapons. It's hard to keep them down for too long. And they came out, started to score in the second quarter, and then kind of just ran away with it in the second half.
Yeah, too many weapons like you guys talked about. They're just too much, too strong. They're going to go a long way this season. I mean, I know their goal is to go back to Hershey and win another one. And looking at this tonight, I'm not sure who can do that, who can stop them.
Yeah.
They just had a heck of a night. The weapons are good. The linebackers are so solid. Defensive front is really good. we did the best we could. We'll go over a little statistics. They had 36 rushes for 135, and I have to believe that that's probably one of their lowest rushing totals in a long, long time. So that's a credit to us. But on the other side of that coin, Hollenbach was 15 of 22 for 295, giving them a total offense of 430 yards. That's a chunk of change. I mean, that's really a great job. For Mount Carmel, we had 37 rushes for 116, 7 of 7 passing for 89, total offense of 205 yards. We acquitted ourselves quite well in the second half. Try to stay tough, like Danny, you talked about it. We didn't quit. We stayed hard, but really, folks, you got to give credit to Southern. They're a heck of a football team, and they're going to be a long way to be challenged. The thing tonight, we didn't allow a mercy rule game by 1 point. It was 41-7, and I believe that they've had 14 out of their last 17 games have been mercy rule games. So, or 18. I'm sorry, they had 13 last year, 1 last week, so 14 out of 18. Which really shows you where they're at as a program. I mean, if anybody wants to measure themselves, that's who you have to measure yourself with. And hopefully we're going to continue to look at that. Our players are going to continue to see that, and they're going to decide that they have to do more. No matter what they did, they have to do more to become that program. That's who we used to be in the 90s. Mm-hmm. That's who Southern is right now.
Absolutely, Jose. A couple things. The first one, before the game, I was kind of just milling around checking Max Preps again to make sure that I had everything, and the first thing that popped up on the main page was an article about title towns in high school football in the state, and wasn't I looking at the Southern Columbia Tigers? Sure. I mean, it was their team at Hershey. You could see the chocolate bar in the background, so that I kind of saw that and I thought, oh yeah, that's who these guys are. On the other side of things, as you mentioned, Hollenbach really throwing 295 yards. My goodness. You can
and it
see
was effortless, too. It wasn't like
absolutely
he had to work at it.
Yep, you could see the Red Tornadoes came out, and they set out to stop Garcia. And for what it's worth, 36 carries, 130. They did.
Yes.
But unfortunately, as we've talked about numerous times without trying to sound like a broken record, they're just, you close a door and they find a window.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, I'm sorry, Danny, but Garcia, we may have stopped the run, but he had 2 big catches tonight and one close to a touchdown. And it behooves me to wonder how this kid is unrecruited right now. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. Yep. I mean, the kid's going to be, like you said, possibly the all-time leading rusher at Southern, where Henry Hynoski, Super Bowl champ, is the current leader. And this kid's well on pace to do that, providing he can stay healthy. And I just don't get how. All right, he might not be a Penn State, Ohio State kind of back, but I'm sure that he could be an Akron, Connecticut, another
Absolutely.
Lower Division I back. And I don't know what people are looking at. I never understood it. I still don't understand it. But hats off to him and everybody else at that program. They've just done a great job.
Yeah. Southern's program altogether is unbelievable. And we talked about it. They set out to kind of stop Garcia, but it's easy to kind of set out to stop a team that is one-dimensional. If you're playing against a team that can only run, force them to pass, it's easy to kind of say, okay, we're going to stop the run and see if the quarterback can beat us. But when there's teams that can throw, they can run, they play well on defense.
You want to throw the special teams in.
Yeah, and they score on special teams. I mean, Fleming almost could have possibly had two return touchdowns, and luckily for Mount Carmel, they both got called back. But just in every facet of the game, Southern Columbia is a great all-around team, and you have to give them their due. You can't stop every player.
No. One last thing before we get out of here. Jose, I'll ask, what's Mount Carmel got to do this week to get ready for Friday?
Well, Lewisburg's going to be a tough football game. That they're really going to have to get together and realize that Lewisburg is a good football team. Right now, I don't know what they did tonight, but I'm sure Mark Persing's going to have them ready. Mark knows what we do. Mark's been around our program for 3 or 4 years. So I think it's going to be a very good game up at Bucknell. It'll be another opportunity for us to go play on turf and in a nice facility like that. But we're going to have to come ready to play, and we're going to have to want to rebound from this game and realize that it's in the past, and there's nothing Mount Carmel can do about it right now. And we just have to move forward. If we plan to meet the Tigers again, we have to put it back together right now.
Yeah, you said we're going to be playing at Bucknell, and I was able to play on that field at one point. It's a great place to play. Mount Carmel should be excited.
So again, we're coming to you from the Silver Bowl here tonight. The Red Tornadoes on the wrong end of a 41-7 Southern Columbia victory. They'll be back next week, though. Again, as we said, at Bucknell to play Lewisburg, and we'll be back next week as well. For Jose Gonzalo and Dan Lesko, I'm Jim Lesko, and we'll see you next week.